dawn is breaking bright. From the shadows we sail through the endless night. Hand to hand we pull the line so tight. Together we rise in the morning light. Oh, a rising tide lifts all ships, me lads, with joy in our hearts and the wind at our backs. We're building something great, no turning back. Rising tide, we're on the attack. Dedication strong as the oceans roar. Progress calls us to the distant shore. Never surrender, we push evermore. Into the sunrise, what we're fighting for. Oh, rising tide lifts all ships, we lads, with joy in our hearts and the wind at our backs. We're building something great, no turning back. Rising tide, we're on the attack. By God, we'll have our memes again, laughing free under the sun's warm grin, helping each other, kin to kin. This is our time, and we're gonna win. Oh, rising tide lifts all ships, we lads, with joy in our hearts and the wind at our backs. We're building something great, no turning back. Rising tide, we're on the attack. Taking it back from the stormy sea, forward we march, wild and free. A bright future gleams for you and me. Glorious days, our victory. Oh, a rising tide lifts all ships, me lads, with joy in our hearts and the wind at our backs. We're building something great, no turning back. Rising tide, we win at last. Below me, hearties, the dawn is breaking bright. From the shadows we sail through the endless night. Hand to hand we pull the line so tight. Together we rise in the morning light. Oh, a rising tide lifts all ships, me lads, with joy in our hearts and the wind at our backs. We're building something great, no turning back. Rising tide, we're on the attack. Dedication strong as the oceans roar. Progress calls us to the distant shore. Never surrender, we push evermore. Into the sunrise, what we're fighting for. Oh, rising tide lifts all ships, we lads, with joy in our hearts and the wind at our backs. We're building something great, no turning back. Rising tide, we're on.
Ahoy, everybody. How's it going? Hopefully everyone is doing well. Yeah. Howdy. So yeah, I saw some people talking about it. Yeah, for those not in the know, those references to AMD and computer parts and everything is I got good news today. I put in the RMA requests a few days back, and both were accepted, which was kind of a surprise. Top-notch marks for AMD especially. Thank you. So yeah, like I said, that is like $1,200 I don't have to worry about, because I would have had to throw money at that and hope it works. And now I get to send them in, and they'll local chat arc. Honestly, quite likely. It looks like there are some good local AI models. I'll at least have to play around with it. I said I would when I got it back. And there's some reasons that it could also be useful, which I'm not going to get into right now. But there's a project that it could be useful for as well. Yeah, keen local chat arc. Yeah, we'll see. Minimax is so fucking good. I've heard about it. I have not. I am hopefully getting my computer fixed. I sent in parts today. The RMA was accepted, so it's not even costing me anything. Well, that's not true. It cost me like $40 in shipping or something. Jeez. And I mean, I'm not complaining about that because it's but just so yeah, I'd much rather pay that obviously than the $1,200 it would have cost me otherwise. But it's still so yeah, it's not about the $40, it's about the price increase and inflation and all that. I'm like, I could have shipped that for like 15 just a couple years ago or something. Uh so yeah. There goes your RAM. Nice. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to check out the local. There's all kinds of good advances on local too. Like it's getting really good. It's not Seed Dance 2 yet, or are you saying it actually is? You think the Minimax is Seed Dance local basically? That would be cool. I've seen some definitely very impressive stuff. Gen times are a little slower for your 3090, but yeah, you've been having amazing results with Minimax. Been hearing good things. Same. What are your gen times like per 15 minutes on a 15 seconds on a 3090? Very nearly on par with Seed Dance. That'd be amazing. Nice. Yeah, like local isn't at the top of my list, but it's definitely like top of my list is getting my passwords and accounts back and backing up all my passwords, getting my data back, getting streaming and gaming again on that computer, and then I'll think about the other stuff. But yeah, it's definitely on the list to try out for sure. I need to play around with local once I get everything back up and running. And I shouldn't count my chickens before they hatch. It's still a possibility that things are just very weird. This computer has been an absolute nightmare trying to fix it. It's really weird. But yeah, so I don't want to be like, oh, it's totally going to get fixed. But it is a very good news that I'm getting most of the expensive parts replaced for free under RMA. Like that was huge. That was really huge. And then so basically power supply is tested working, so that's not something I have to worry about. And so that leaves as far as posting, as far as bypassing the problem that I've been having, I don't need the SSD or GPU as far as troubleshooting that particular problem. So basically, unless they send me duds from the RMA, which shouldn't really happen, the only other problem, if it still doesn't work, would be like a dud motherboard. Like the motherboard I already replaced would be a dud. So I'm hoping that's also not a thing, and that I'd also RMA that because that's relatively recent, so that should be fine if it happens. But yeah, hopefully once I get the new CPU and RAM, it's just gonna work, and I can get into the data and everything like that. We'll see. Sometimes you wonder if they add too much dihydrogen monoxide to the water. Yeah, me too. Me too. Guys, gen more AI, we have to lower the sea level. Dude, that's a good one. I hadn't thought about that. That's hilarious. 6 minutes. Oh shit, that's still really good. That's still really good. Like, and because you're not paying costs on that, like yeah, that 6 minutes is about normal gen time, maybe a little longer than for plenty of these sites, and 10 to 15, I assume you mean minutes, is still better than what I'm currently doing, which is unlimited, which is the only way I could afford genning as much as I have been doing. And unlimited is slow mode, so you don't have to pay, you don't have to use credits. but it will put you in the slow queue. So a 15-second gen or any gen, like a 1 second gen, would also take 40 minutes if you're lucky. Sometimes it's like an hour to an hour and a half. But yeah, so 10 to 15 minutes would be a huge improvement. And if you can get the if you can get the exact same quality, that's great. 8 seconds for AP without crashing from running out of VRAM. Oh shit. Um, yeah. Silas said it nice. 10 minutes for an 8 second clip. And yeah, and I've got the 24 gigabytes of VRAM, so I should be able to do cool things. Working on a big project yourself, nice. Takes a lot of time to gen, yeah. Chunky model, but it's good, nice. That's cool. Yeah, I like having projects to work on. I caught up on some of the stuff I wanted to do. I'm still behind on projects and just keep adding more projects, of course. Gonna do some editing tomorrow, I think, as well as I need to do a lot of genning myself. I did, for the first time in ages, I did not gen at all today, which feels bad when you're on unlimited runway. Because yeah, I did not make use of it today because I was doing other stuff like packaging up the stuff, dealing with the RMA, shipping it, all that sort of thing. So yeah, I prioritize different things. But yeah, is what it is. Still feel a little guilty. Running 12 gigs of VRAM. If you got 24, you should be fine. Yeah, it's the whatchamacallit, uh RTX XTX, whatever, something like that. Yeah, it's the non-NVIDIA one. So I know you can set those up. I know they're not quite as friendly for some of these models, but yeah, I got the 24 gigabytes of VRAM. Rental GPU compute. Hey, Runya. What will you do with your last month of free genning? Just give it to Nightway. Hey, Kura. Hey, Astronomical. And hey, everyone else. Hey, Jesus. Hopefully in the works. Working on 8 VRAM. I'm on... What even is this? Let me look real quick, because it'll be freaking funny. Uh, really? Okay. I'm on 3.5 gigabytes. I'm not even kidding. It's the GTX 970 scandal. Uh, yeah, I believe it's 3.5 gigabytes. That's pretty funny. You're trying Minimax tomorrow? I think Runway does have Minimax, but I'm not sure if it's on unlimited. Kind of over LTX 2.3. Oh yeah, yes, like the thing, and that. Thank you for reminding me. That reminds me when I jump into recording for YouTube, which I hopefully will, actually get around to uploading and all that. That's another good thing. Once I get my computer back, I can record and stream at the same time, which will make actually uploading to YouTube much easier. But yeah, I'm gonna have to remember to be more aggressive on shouting out likes, because apparently YouTube did that thing where they changed the algorithm again, and it's very important for people to like the videos now if you want any sort of growth. Apparently, it's just YouTube being YouTube. Fans don't even get 4 gigabytes. Yeah, it's 3.5 and then half a gig at slower speeds or whatever is the 970. It was still a really good card for the time, but yeah, there was that issue. You set up a Discord channel on your local. That would be cool. Yeah, I can add a local category to the AI section. Read the prompt guide. It's very peculiar about its prompt formatting. Okay. Thank you. Trying to figure out what you can run with 8 gigabytes that isn't Chinese. Will you be back at side scrollers anytime soon? I don't know. We'll see. Um, I have been talking to them more. I sent in a couple frolics and everything. Um, I don't know. We'll see. We will see. Wouldn't surprise me, but I have not. I have not been. I have not been officially invited or anything like that. I should push for it, honestly. And I did a little. I'm like, you should have me on with someone else, and I threw out some names. But yeah, no, they're good people. Chinese models are great though. Yeah. Um. Ooh. Okay. You know what? Do we start? I'm just seeing what we can. I didn't have anything really lined up. I'm not sure what we're gonna be looking at today. Okay. There we go. Um. Oh, GPT open source. Interesting. That could be interesting because if you can run GPT local, that would be very helpful because I like GPT. It's very precise and again in quotes, it's intelligent. It's a yeah, I've been impressed. Nice. Hey Ava, hey Highlander, how's it going, guys? I imagine I have a massive backlog. Yeah, I still need to catch up on community stuff too. But yeah, there's plenty of stuff I've just not been looking at all. Oh yeah, there is a new shoe video too. We might have to do that. That is in the YouTube sorry, the VTuber manual that you have to. That's contractual. Oh, dude, we need to I don't have the energy since they're long, but I need to do Caleb Hammer. That is a good point. That is a really good point. I have not done Caleb Hammer reacts. That is, oh my God, it's funny stuff. Funny stuff. We might have to do that. I'll make a note of it right now. And I added a note to add a local channel to the AI on Discord. You're not a huge fan of GPT image gen yourself. You'd rather give up a little bit of prompt adherence for better style. A lot of people say that, and they're not entirely wrong. But you can get a whole lot of style from GPT. Like I think my stuff's relatively well styled, and I use only GPT basically. Occasionally, like if I have to get around censorship or something, I'll throw it through Grok. But yeah, you can get crazy style with GPT. And the other nice thing is because you were talking about adherence, it's excellent for style adherence. So if you can get the style you want, you can consistently get the style you want. So GPT, in that sense, GPT is unbeatable in style. If you can beat it into giving you the style you want, you can keep it giving you the style you want, and it's pretty damn amazing. But yeah, no, some people would rather get the messy isn't the right word, but the more chaotic, uh, slightly unpredictable from other models. Which I will say, it is better and easier with getting interesting styles. But I just like working with GPT. Caleb Hammer worth it. You'd have a blast. Yeah. Oh hell yeah. Oh man, you are so yeah. You are driving. Dang, Highlander. Yeah, a bunch of people don't like GPT. And again, I get it. I'm just like, bro, you can do crazy styles in GPT. But yeah, it does style lock. I do know what people are talking about, but you also just have to know how to work with it a little bit. And again, because it learns and everything, you can change your GPT to make it so you can get the styles you want. You have a few text docs with just style and quality prompts for GPT. Yeah, I need to get better at organizing them. I have a ton. Most of it's still in GPT, so I'll just go back through and grab the ones I like from the images. But yeah, I have I forget like 50,000 characters of an unstyled character. Maybe it's not 50,000, I forget. But yeah, a bunch of long list of characters that without any style attached to them, so I can just plug those into gens, which is pretty fun. But I love text genning. GPT versus Nano Banana for multi-character. Who wins? I'd imagine GPT. I'm not super familiar with Nano. Oh, I've played around with it some. GPT again is just so precise. It's gonna win on a lot of those. So if you're talking about using a lot of characters in a scene, GPT is gonna win. GPT actually adapts to your actual drawing, so you prefer it, but you understand people's view on it. Nano Banana, however, needs to go away. Nano Banana does some things good, but then it's kind of awful on others. Wait, Banana is better for multi-character, but it's hard to get away from cartoony comic style. I'd I'd be kind of shocked, but who knows? Like I said, I haven't played around with it too much. All right, let me see what I want to look at here. That could be interesting. Where is it? Oh, what the heck? Is this the wrong channel? Where is it? Yeah, am I on the wrong channel? Yeah, yeah. Hey, Whiskers. Eh, puns, huh? Puns, huh? You come in here with puns. I see how it is. Oh, okay, yeah, I guess that was the wrong channel. Okay. When you really need some hyper-specific composition framing, ideogram 4, unbeatable. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not super familiar with all the local stuff. Um, and I'm assuming that's local because that's what you gen. Nano Banana good at realism? Again, I'm not super familiar. Yeah, GPT can do a lot. You'll just stick to Grok and GPT for now until you can actually afford a better PC than the laptop you have. Yeah. Um. Okay, there we go. Let's see. Oh, okay. There's some good stuff there. I think we'll start with Rev as we've been want to do. Which one? Oh God. All right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That looks good. Interesting. Pleb question, how to establish a workflow which separates a background from the rest of a gen and works on multiple projects separately? One project for every item and character. I'm not quite sure what you mean. Separates background from the rest. Do you want the background or the characters? Works on multiple projects separately. I mean, you can just make a, I'm not sure what format you're looking at, but you can make a text prompt and just like Noct was saying, you can just have it in a text document or something, and organize your prompts that way. And then when you need to do that, you can just drag that in with the image and be like, remove the or isolate the background in this. Yeah, and then you just tweak it as needed till you get something truly universal. So you're gonna have to do some trial and error, but if you can nail down the prompt as needed, you can just use that prompt. GPT struggles with perspective and scale sometimes. Yep. Yeah, just Grok and GPT. Yep. Nice. Yeah, if you're making things, you can gen the background separately and then add stuff to it that you want to. Vibe coding, heck yeah. I still need the vibe code. Make the background put. Make the background put in some other app and just layer like in Photoshop or something, but animated. I'm not quite sure what you mean, and you can do it all in AI too. Like you can build it in AI and animate it in AI too. It doesn't have to be another program. Yeah, yeah. Universal prompts are a pain, but super satisfying too. All right, let's get to it though. Let's go ahead, jump over to. It's over. Of course, it's over. It's always over. It's so over. It's never been more over. You know the thing. Yeah, let's go ahead and do this. And this caught my eye because we like Hero High too, and this is gonna be one of Rev's you know, exaggeratory, humorous ones as well. Oh, let's make sure volume is up. Let's hit it.
Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about Hero Hey, a channel I know a lot of you guys are familiar with. We have a very big audience overlap. So that's why it really pains me in my heart to say this. I must disavow this very intolerant individual.
It's not a Rev thumbnail if it's not over.
Very
Yep.
Intelligent people on social media who are on the right side of history have informed people like me that Hero Hey is not only a chud, but a very unempathetic chud who is.
Oh no, anyway, yeah, and by the way, while we're pausing here, I said earlier that I'm going to be reminding people to like the video more because apparently YouTube changed some things, so it's more important that now. So yes, if you like my stuff, don't forget to like the video. Thanks. Let's keep going.
Celebrating the
it's over again, yeah.
Of individuals at companies like.
Wait, that's his crime? That's his crime, celebrating the firing of people who deserve to be fired because they're fucking parasites who ruin everything? All right, cool. Let's move on.
Bethesda. Now, of course, I'm being a bit facetious here, ladies and gentlemen. Put away your pitchforks.
No.
But I want to talk about the situation that has made him go viral. So Hero Hey simply shared this clip right here with the caption, obviously describing what is contained in it, talking about Bethesda union members who are protesting after being laid off. And the results are hilarious because these people are top-notch narcissists living in a complete clown world where they believe, thanks to the hug box they've been
God. I hate these people. I guess I'm not empathetic either. I hate these people so much.
That they've been producing great games right up until now, including games that are defining generations. Let's watch the clip.
Morale is really low because, you know, we've been told that
Whoa, they found a dude?
we're making great games that players love and that we're doing well, and to have this suddenly hit us has been a huge shock to us.
It sucks.
We make all kinds of games, all kinds of people.
This is where I need face tracking. My eye is I'm actually twitching right now. Cause of course, didn't take us long, did it? What am I looking at? I guess that's one way to solve the Adam's apple problem too, is to have a really weird thick neck as well. Okay.
It'd be really nice if we could just get back to work and make them games that will define a generation of video gaming.
I worked at ZeniMax.
Oh my God, I'm not going to be able to make this through. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Years, we are having a march and a rally to demand.
No devs, no games. We got AI now. We got AI now, buddy. We also have other devs. We don't need you retards. You're not the only devs. You're not the only devs, so this is a stupid fucking thing.
To demand dignity and respect and an end to the cycle of layoffs.
Now, I actually did a bit of a more deep dive into this whole thing on my Patreon with my latest exclusive there. I'll put a link to it in the pinned comment if you want to check it out. But the reason I'm returning today is because people have turned on Hero Hey. People are really mad at him
it's over.
For simply sharing this clip. Showing the truth somehow makes him an evil person, as we'll see. But let's see some of the other reactions. People like this saying it honestly feels good to see at least some of these parasites gone. Showing the many modern audience devs over at Bethesda who have been laid off, including this guy who literally...
You'd rather have no games than the bastardization of franchises we've been getting? Yes, and that's not even the choice though, because again, there are going to be indie devs. There are going to be people who do it for free for the love of the game. There are going to be more and more people who can just do it with AI assisted coding. Learn to code? Oh well, too bad. Yeah, you don't even need to learn to code as much as you did previously though. Apply which reasoning to almost everything about the state? But yes, you're correct. Fuck the state.
Branded himself with a hammer and sickle. He went even further than the woke wackadoos on social media.
Dude, and you know this gotta be the first against the wall too. Like, yeah, we were just talking a little bit, not we as in the stream, just it came up on a podcast I was listening to, and so I was talking just with some friends about it. But the Spanish Civil War was fucking wild, and a lot of people just don't know how wild that shit got. And the communists, as per usual, were fucking monsters who were doing very inhumane things.
Who simply have this in their bio. He actually branded himself with this disgusting and embarrassing symbol. Here's another quote saying, Patrick Bateman voice. Oh my God. There's even a juniper. Here's another quote saying, you know, once upon a time, I may have been more empathetic to their plight, but no more. All I want to know is if this guy got fired. And this guy, in an interview, literally dropped the meme. For a modern gaming audience, this guy actually said the line in a promotional piece of material.
Dude, that is
for the company.
Disgusting.
Here's a reply saying, remember, the political environment of Bethesda is one in which they felt comfortable posting this days after Charlie was killed. Needless to say, I have no sympathy for them. Yeah,
You don't care much about those fascists, do you? Is what that says. Again, if you're looking at communism versus fascism and how they each behave, obviously neither is good, and to some extent they're two sides of the same coin. Like, that is true, but holy shit, I hate communists. Let's just leave it at that.
right after the assassination of Charlie Kirk, they posted this screenshot with the caption,
The mythical audience,
"You don't care much about these fascists, do you?" Very clearly mocking his assassination.
Yeah, and the other thing is, no matter how you feel about fascists, which again, not a big fan, historically speaking, they're usually exist at the same time and in opposition to communists. Like, fascism is a result of communism. Yeah, there's not a whole lot to say. Like, look at all the big famous fascist uprisings. It's all after a communist uprising. It's like, okay, I see how it is. And do you really want me to choose? Are those my two choices? Because I know which one I'm choosing.
Political violence and making an absolute fool out of themselves on social media. And here's another quote pointing out the obvious. When they're talking about no devs, no games, what games are you even talking about? It's been 10 years and all they've released is 2 flops and some crappy mobile games.
And 16 Skyrims. You forgot. I'm sure he's getting to that. But yeah, 16 Skyrims.
One of which is dead. And included in that, of course, is Starfield, right? And you can see another quote saying, absolutely vindicated. Remember how much they were...
Yeah. Fascism, communism, and socialism are all Marxist ideology. Again, there's a lot of similarities, yes, but I wouldn't. I think there are enough differences. But yes, complete anarchy. Not a huge fan, and you'll often see, like, just as far as an ideology goes, the anarchists are ironically often in line with the communists and socialists. Like, because, like, we were talking about the Spanish Civil War, the anarchists were in line with the like, they were on the same side as the communists and socialists, and fighting the fascists. And yeah, again, it's a wild thing, and of course they were all fighting each other too. So the communists were fighting the other communists. You had the Stalinists versus the Trotskyites and all that bullshit. It's and they're all just absolutely murdering each other.
Memeing on him for the whole pronouns clip, right? Acting like he was completely...
Fascism is a Marxism service issue. Something like that, yeah. All Gnosticism. Maybe they hate capitalism because if they were paid by the state, they wouldn't have to be accountable to the market. It's not that deep. And I've said before, but they hate capitalism because they think everyone is as greedy as they are. And that, so yeah, basically they project their flaws onto everyone else, and then think society needs to be protected from those monsters that they think everyone else is, because they have serious issues and no morals.
Embarrassing.
You're not going to defend Nazism today, you promised yourself. Like I said, I'm not a fan, but I can see why it happens, and I definitely would prefer it to the socialism. Again, if those are my only two options. I don't think fascism is the solution, but I can see the appeal. In the scenarios where it has come to power, I can see why it came to power, is what I'm saying.
Himself. Well, guess what? He is more memorable
kind of
than
like
Starfield.
Cheaters assume everyone else cheats. Oh, he's more memorable than Starfield? Damn!
Which is an unmitigated disaster, ladies and gentlemen. But here's some more quotes saying, what's crazy is that...
You thought fascism was about fancy clothes? You mean it's not? It was about that too. They were snappy dressers. Schultz, didn't see that one.
that these are clearly not gamers. They aren't nerds or geeks. They don't actually play Dungeons and Dragons. They don't see gaming as their refuge from the world.
They always talk about Nazism. They never talk about Weimar Republic that gave rise to them. Yes, or like I said, the Second Spanish Republic, which was ironically overthrew the monarchy and then instituted so-called democracy. And some of the first stuff they did was keep out winners of elections that they didn't like. Yes, again, democracy also fake and gay.
They are just literal communists and leftist activists.
Yes.
It's no wonder they make garbage. It's a mirror. Here's another one saying,
boss.
Indistinguishable from an Antifa protest. Make of that what you will. Well, much like an Antifa protest, these individuals are unemployed. Here's another reply saying, bunch of theater kid losers, only good for putting...
I guess YouTube owed you, Kura. So it said, okay, we've eaten a lot of your comments. We'll go ahead and double this one.
Fries in the bag. Welcome home. And of course, this image is always used when all of these game developers, all their people...
Yes, look at what books the Nazis burned. Oh, also, if we're talking book burning, the Allies burned thousands of times, hundreds of thousands of times more books than the Nazis did in the denazification efforts, and it was much broader and less deserved. They were burning basically the denazification was de-Germanification. Like they were burning German folktales and stuff. It's crazy what the good guys did after the war.
In the industry who are getting laid off, they get very triggered by this image. Just welcoming them home back to the unemployment line. But of course, the quotes...
I like how this had nothing to do with that. It was just kind of on my mind because I was reading about the Spanish Civil War. And but yeah, we saw a guy with a communist tattoo. That's it. And that was enough to piss me the fuck off. And now we're talking about this.
Are also very mad at Hirohei. Over the last 24 hours, we have seen a lot of people attacking him and trying to not only misrepresent what he's saying, but getting mad at him for literally sharing the truth. He just shared a clip and really just kind of transcribed it. But people are fuming about the truth coming out.
Germ warfare.
This person saying the quotes and replies are all the proof you need that gamers deserve.
Oh, bring it, bitch. Again, we don't need you. We don't need you. Gamers deserve less than nothing. Yeah, well, you can't take it because we've got all the old games. We've got the new games that are decent. We'll keep making games. So yeah, no, you can think we deserve nothing all you want. We will still have things no matter how shit you make your games. We will still have things. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Less than nothing. Now, I'm pretty sure we don't want people like this representing anyone. He, him, already has people like me blocked. Yeah, you know what? You are the minority here. You're not the target audience. Sorry to reveal that to you, but yeah, we're glad you're mad that...
Exactly. That's a good point, too. And I mean, they're not exactly necessarily contradictory because you could say one in relation to the other. So he's like, oh, I see these people not sympathizing with these people, so... they deserve nothing now. But yeah, still, it is kind of funny. Like there's people out on strike being like, hey, give us money, give us jobs, whatever. And the gamers are like, no. And they're like, well, you don't deserve it then. Perhaps gamers are a commodity of the corporate establishment. Well, they should have, even so, they have squandered that commodity. So even if you measure that as a commodity, they did not handle the gaming commodity very well. Plenty of great indie games and great games out of Asia. Yep.
Employees have been laid off and don't understand why their activism and their cringe behavior is part of the problem. But here's another reply saying, why is the even thing for people to be making fun of people losing their jobs? How has the human race fell to such evil? Think about stuff before you speak.
They're communists. They don't want jobs anyway. This will give them more time for their real art. You can stop making your B games. You're just going to breed more based indie devs. True and real. Fungible token access now. Going to be publicly traded. Whatever. I mean, again, that's fine. Like, if they're actually putting value on gamers, that would be an improvement. So I'm not quite sure what you mean about fungible assets, like yeah, carbon capture credits, but for advertising and indoctrination. Whatever. I think the time has gone. There, corpos don't have to be our audience anymore. Corpos are over.
Like you know.
Because Asia knows how to make hot women. Yes, but it goes beyond that because it's cause and effect. Like, they know how to make good games for the same reason they know how to make hot women, because they actually care about making good products. Like, it's not, their games are not good because they have hot women in it. They have hot women in it because their games are good.
Took a couple deep breaths and worked on their sentence structure before making this very frantic reply, but
how hard,
we see this in the quotes as well.
The Halo butchering is insane.
13,000 likes cheering on people getting laid off by Microsoft. Are we cooked?
You are.
You know what? I think a lot of people are very happy to see this. It's called consequences. Don't these woke people love the idea?
People are customers. Gamers are customers. They are commodities, so to speak. But customers are going to stop buying your product if all you're offering is shit sandwich. Yes.
Idea of consequence culture. When it comes to these Bethesda individuals, they have been producing slop, and very little slop, because they're not producing a lot of content. And yeah,
everyone, no matter their allegiance, would celebrate people losing their jobs. It's just a matter of which jobs and people they are happy about. Yes, exactly. The left has been extremely gleeful about people losing their jobs. So this is again, you have to have values to have hypocrisy, but this is basically similar to hypocrisy, where they're just they're not speaking from a place of truth or a solid foundation to criticize. They're in the glass house, basically. They are in the glass house and they are throwing a lot of stones.
There's consequences, and people are very happy to see all of these very clearly activists lose their jobs. And that's pointed out in the replies. Do a bad job equals get fired. That simple. Other users saying, none of these people featured in this clip have made anything of value at Bethesda. Starfield was deeply flawed, and I'd wager very few of them were at the studio when Fallout 4 Skyrim was released. They need the grills put to them. This is what happens when you don't produce. And the original poster says, are you a Microsoft employee? What kind of a response even is this? It makes no sense. But here's another reply saying, gamers are the only audience who actively hate the people who make the art they enjoy.
I think you have that reversed. Although, again, based gamers are one of the few groups actively calling it out to that extent. Like, there's the whole you messed with gamers meme, which is intentionally cringe, but there is also an element to truth to it. Like, the gamers, not all, again, there's plenty of cucked gamers. There's plenty of problems in the community, the quote unquote community, because I hate community, but I hate how it's used, I should say. But yes, there is also truth that on average, in aggregate, gamers are more based and rebellious than many of the other groups who have been psyoped and propagandized and targeted for this kind of thing. Like, you don't see this as much in television watchers. Like, they're not like, oh, you're turning our things into slop or whatever. It's not as active, it's not as organized. You still have people who feel that way, obviously, but they largely just kind of bow out and often go to anime or something like that. Like, the people who don't like Western television entertainment don't raise as big a fuss about it as gamers do. So yes, gamers are based, unironically. Longhouse democracy, yeah.
It's effing depressing. Bold of you to assume.
Sorry, Honestly, you have a bit of input here. You used to work at EA as a tester in their cat lab at the EABR studio. The studio got shut down after they attempted to unionize. Oh man, many such cases. It would have happened eventually as a few teams were already downsized and shipped to the Romanian studios. What happened to the Oblivion remake? It was everywhere for like a week, then disappeared. Uh, but no need to speed up your firing. Yeah, I don't know.
That people are enjoying the content that Bethesda has been crapping out over the last decade. And you can see the replies are locked. The original quote here locked the replies after the comments weren't going the way that they had anticipated.
We're a vocal minority, less than 10% of the global population, to say what is a good product. Are you talking gamers? It doesn't matter. You don't need more than 10% of the population if people are actually actively engaged. Like, look at how much they hate gamers. Like, we're seeing that right now. That's because the resistance has been effective, even if it's 10%. If you have an actively engaged 10%, that is enough.
But here's another quote saying, "Stupid morons like Hero Hey here love blaming everything on their employees, pouring their heart out to make a great product, but ignore the bigwigs that make all the decisions that F everything."
It's both, and I like Hero High does not defend the bigwigs either. Like, he calls all that shit out. These guys just don't know, and again, a bunch of dirty communists.
Up. And Hero Hey would quote back saying, "I literally called out all of the corrupt AAA in the same exact post, and have many videos criticizing the executives too. It's funny how rage posters are suddenly rushing to that post trying to run damage control.
I see what you're saying.
They only self-report how clueless they are."
10% can mean a lot of different things, but yeah, 10% is a reference to how many white people there are on Earth. Yep. Oof.
Also, great product, and it's overpriced corpo slop. And here's another exchange here. This user saying, "The fact that they are terrible game devs does not in any way exonerate the cancerous evil of game company."
No, it doesn't.
Executives. And Hero Hey says,
color revolution is 3.2%. Sometimes you need more, but yeah, 3 to 10%. Again, you don't even need 10%, but yeah.
Just literally called out all of corporate or corrupt AAA, which
it's only a great product if consumer likes it. It doesn't matter what the producers think about it. Unfortunately, they kind of did a runaround on that and thankfully it's not as engaged as it was. But they're still trying it and working with it to some extent. But the DEI funds, the hedge funds pushing that, were giving runarounds because the consumer didn't actually have to be your customer, because there were so many kickbacks from if you did things the right way, if you checked all the check boxes, because they were literally reprogrammed. I shouldn't say past tense, they are literally reprogramming the culture and the people in the culture. So in that sense, you're right that the consumer should be the one, but with the setup we currently have and used to have more of, no, the hedge funds could decide if a product is good or not, which is a really stupid way to do things. Communists are assholes, yes. Consumers like bad things. Administration like better things. They'll make better. Yeah. Only works until the money runs out. Yeah, exactly. It wasn't sustainable. DEI was via private equity, as they were the main consumer. No, they're not of the games. The I don't even know what that means. That's not how that works. They weren't playing the games. The games were not being played. Point is, they replaced the people who actually were buying the product with handouts and incentives to do things a different way, and no longer have to appeal to that.
Which includes the executives. Yeah, they're literally trying to shadowbox at this point, but also beyond shadowboxing, they're posting their threats, saying the gamers are stupid animals that deserve death. Here's another one saying the comment section on this makes me believe the most moderate position is to liquefy all gamers into Nutrislop for cattle. The modern audience, ladies and gentlemen, they can't really communicate what they're trying to say or...
When can being a communist be a deportable offense? Yeah. You just need a few angry and dangerous people to force a change, and in the context of gamers, it's probably a small number of diehards representing a disproportionate amount of customer money. Yes, but again, it's not even just about the money. It is just like with the hedge funds trying to change the culture. The diehards can change culture too, just by existing.
Why they're mad about this post that's literally just sharing a clip that actually happened. Instead, they resort to me.
Okay. If you sell products for 10 to the population, but private equity gives you 15, you make the product and try to sell the product. The private equity is the customer. Okay, but then the games are no longer the product. If you're not making them to be played, they're not games. So I would argue that. So you can say that the private equity is the customer if you want. And again, to some extent, there's true. But that was a runaround on the actual customer. And you end up with a broken system where you don't need to produce good things. You just need to produce stupid things because the goal is no longer to produce good games.
Memes and threats and stuff like that. Much to be expected, but I appreciate Hero Hey for sharing this clip because...
In a way, you're kind of glad they went after our games. Oh, 100%. I've said that all the damn time. It's very good these guys have no fucking self-control and can't slow boil the frog. It was a absolute windfall that they went after games like they did, and did so many other things wrong too. Like they let us back in the game, so to speak, and very, very kind of them. Imagine if they had continued to make great games without putting their crap into it until they had completely secured everything else. Exactly. They just couldn't, though. They just couldn't, because that's not how their minds work. After 2008, the transfer of wealth to the top largely invalidated the basis of the free market system. Kind of a moot point since we don't have a free market system anyway. Like, we can talk about wealth distribution, and that is a massive problem actually, but we don't have a free market. So there's yeah, basically we should still have a free market. We should bring that back, and then we can talk about the other issues. And if it doesn't work, there are no games, only product.
Because it is genuinely hilarious. And
They screwed up, they did.
I know, very insensitive, enjoy seeing people from the industry who are activists, who are literally
own nothing
trying
and be
to
happy.
ruin this medium, finally find out, and lose their jobs and sit there stun-locked, going, how did this happen? While trying to literally prop themselves up by saying, hey, remember what this company did probably many years.
That's true as well. Like they replaced the people and cannot not produce good games. You're correct.
Before I even started working there, I don't deserve this. No, I think these people really do deserve what's happening to them, because this is the kind of stuff and the kind of people that have been driving not only Bethesda.
I know, buddy. Preaching to the choir. Taxation is theft.
But also the gaming industry into the absolute ground. But anyways, that's going to do for this video. If you enjoyed, please consider giving the video a like, consider subscribing and turning on notifications for daily uploads, as well as multiple streams every week live here on YouTube. But overall, hope you guys enjoy the video. I'll see you next time.
All right. Thanks for watching. That was a fun one. And like I said, it is important now that you like the video. It's kind of lame. Again, I don't like pushing that sort of thing. I wish YouTube wasn't so weird about it, but I've just heard from other creators that it is now quite important. So if you watch this and like this, don't forget to like the video. Thank you. Peace. All right. Do we want more Rev? Do we want more? We could go over to Hero High as well, since we were talking about him. Taxation is theft, so is printing money. No, you're correct. You own your pent up rage for now. Yes, pent up. Really? I mean, I guess you've said that it could be less pent up. So that is true. Problem with large games like WoW that people are heavy time invested. They're willing to put up with a lot of stuff. That's a good point too. It's a sunk cost fallacy. At some point, you're just like, well, I'm already in it. Might as well keep going. It's not like I'm gonna quit. See. Let's do a little bit on the. Oh God! Right off the bat, we get hit with Jason Schreier. That that the dude? I think so. See ya, Ava. Have a good one. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Ahoy! Back with another Rev video here. The Blizzard stuff was said that no investigation has substantiated any allegations. Oh shit. They lied. And like I said, YouTube is making it more important than ever that people like the video. I hate pushing that stuff, but I just thought I'd shout that out there. So yeah, if you like my stuff, like the video, let's get into it.
Hey, what's up guys, Riff here. So in this video, I'll be talking about a very serious situation, an update on possibly the biggest controversy in the gaming industry involving Activision Blizzard. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys have at one point or another came across this series of allegations made against this company where there was systemic abuse and discrimination going on in the company. This was something that was reported by outlets like Kotaku back in 2021 and by journalists like Jason Schreier, who wrote a book.
Derogatory, many such cases. You're vindicated. I know. I called this too. There were so many people who just wanted to believe it just because, similar to the topic of the last one, Blizzard has been making shitty fucking games, which is very unfortunate. They were my favorite company, definitely up there, probably my favorite company. Definitely one of the ones that had as far as games went, had the biggest impact on me for a lot of years there. And no, I'm not even talking WoW, because we were talking WoW just a little while ago. I'm not even saying WoW. I didn't play WoW, but like original StarCraft, Diablo 2, that sort of stuff was big for me back then. But yeah, so people were resentful and just ran with it, but I thought this always stunk.
Book, a New York Times best-selling book, trying to release.
Blizzard aren't the bad guys, not in the way they were presented. And yes, they still suck. StarCraft LAN parties, hell yeah, we need to bring LAN parties back. Speaking of culture, we're doing it. I know we have everything's online and everything now to more than it ever was, but yeah, we can bring back LAN parties. Let's do it.
All of these allegations, and well, all of these parties have been awfully silent ever since it was discovered that Activision Blizzard settled with the California government for $54 million. But in that same settlement, it was revealed that no investigation substantiated any of the allegations against Activision Blizzard. In the last 5 years, we have seen countless lives, careers, and reputations destroyed by these allegations, many believing it's fact because it was reported.
California is still fake and gay. So again, I haven't looked into this too much, but just going off the text here, the company has agreed to set aside funds to address accusations of pay disparity and discrimination. Oh, dude, this is fucking unconstitutional, because I'm betting it's just like meritocracy, which is illegal now, but again, it shouldn't be under the Constitution. But yeah, I'm guessing the wrong people were more successful and were promoted to better paying positions, which is the pay disparity and discrimination right there. Again, there will always be pay disparity and quote unquote discrimination. Like, how? I don't even get it, because the CEO is getting paid more. That's not pay disparity. You don't get hit for that. So, but I'm guessing too many like whites and Asians were being recognized for good work, and that was discrimination against the other races, and it was probably more men and the other genders. All the other genders, all 76 or whatever. But yeah, no, fuck that.
By so many different outlets, but here we are. And now
you can do online LAN parties. It's not the same. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. So you're all online, but in the actual building. I thought you were making a joke about you can just do the parties online, but no, you can do online LAN parties. Yeah. You can also, but actually, is that what you're talking about? Because I think the Hamachi was for online stuff. That's that's a local, basically local network simulator. But no, I want people in the same room.
Pick up the pieces. The truth is coming out, and well,
you're surprised how good the last Diablo 4 expansion was? Nice. And I did predict that. A bunch of people were shitting on Diablo 4 for good reason. It had its issues. Blizzard has for a while now been launching games in a fairly shit state. I did predict Diablo 4 would get better, and that seems to be what's happening. I have not kept up with it. I played it a little bit, but yeah, and I don't currently have the computer that can run it. Hopefully, again, I RMA'd my stuff. It's out. Hopefully I can get back up and running. Diablo 4 isn't on my list of games to check out immediately, but I probably will check it out again at some point. But yeah, so that's good to hear that they did actually do a good expansion.
It's not what the media was portraying. Can you believe that, ladies and gentlemen? But let me give you the timeline of events. Let me take you back to 2021, when major outlets were reporting on a series of very serious allegations against the company, ranging from sexual harassment to discriminatory
LAN party Jenning? Holy shit. That's next level.
Practices, and some very specific allegations we'll get into in just a second. But it wasn't private citizens who raised this
No, not
lawsuit.
The plushies.
Instead, it was the state of California itself. And throughout these allegations, we had the infamous Bill Cosby suites, which of course was portrayed as a literal abuse room, where all of these Activision Blizzard employees would take women in and abuse.
Diablo 3 was super mad. I like Diablo 3. It there in some ways it didn't capture the magic of Diablo 2, but it did update a lot of things. So yeah, I don't know. I thought Diablo 3 got too much hate, but like I said, some people it launched in a iffy state, and that might be some people's impression of it still if they didn't check it out. But I really like Diablo 3. It had some good systems. Again, it had some failures. It smoothed things out a little too much, but no, I like Diablo 3. I'll defend Diablo 3.
Them. And we also had the very interesting situation.
Diablo 2 will forever be your favorite, and you need to play some more of 4 though. Yeah, Diablo 2 was obviously peak, and I at some point I will want to check out the Diablo 2 remastered or whatever it's called. Whatever, I forget.
Were accused of drinking the milk of Manaroth, ladies and gentlemen. Yep, that's right.
You got one shot.
You've seen probably at one time or another, where Activision Blizzard employees were accused of stealing breast milk from the female employees. And during all this, it wasn't just one settlement that we're looking at. There was a series of attempted settlements for years. But every time a settlement was about to be reached, the state of California blocked it and began to ask for more and more, including at one point up to $1 billion. But during all of this, we saw many attempts by Activision Blizzard to do damage control, where they're pledging to add resources to ensure that Activision Blizzard's hiring practices were
kind of glad they never made StarCraft 3. Yeah, I get that.
More diverse, making it clear that they were going to hire people based on their identity and not their merit, which is something that has a very clear impact on the quality of the games that they're producing. But all this was not enough for a lot of the Activision Blizzard employees, including 1,000 of them, who petitioned to remove the CEO, and they staged protests and walkouts like this. And looking around, this is the most...
Once again, this is just like that other one. It's just a bunch of frickin' communists. And other things I can't say on YouTube.
2021
Cringe.
image I think you could ever produce. And looking around, it's very obvious that this impacted the quality of the games. As a World of Warcraft player myself, things have definitely changed over the years. We ended up with Pride events. We also ended up with bizarre meme-worthy images like this, with one of the most powerful mages in the universe, Khadgar, reduced to a floating pink wheelchair. A guy who could literally fly and pretty much do anything he wants, decided to plant himself in a pink wheelchair. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, this is gaming.
What incarnation, indeed.
Am I right? But there's also a lot of regret in the company, including this clip that I'm going to share, where World of Warcraft bosses are talking about how they regret calling the game World of War.
No. I want off Mr. Bones' wild ride. Come on.
Crafts.
And I just want to bring it to as many people as possible. And that
Professor Zeezer, the wheelchairs in fantasy was the dumbest thing you've ever seen. Transgenderism in fantasy is the weirdest thing. Probably. I mean, for the same reason, you have like healing spells and transformation spells. I could go off on a whole rant about the transes, but yeah, let's save that. Commies ruin game company, value goes down. Tencent China owned buys it. Yep.
That means, evolving what Warcraft means, what it is, and where it's going.
No. This is the modern audience argument. No, you don't have to change the thing everyone loved. You made a cool thing. Listen to this.
Evolving, I want to bring it to as many people as possible. And that means, evolving what Warcraft means, what it is, and where it's going.
No, you keep making the thing people liked. You evolve it in the ways that people want. Because you don't just keep doing the exact same thing over and over. That would be boring. But you keep doing the same style, and then putting in new features and changing things in a good way. But you don't evolve the whole game like she's talking here.
We want it to be approachable, and that's also part of it. Even with Chris Metzen, we talk about, sometimes he's like, man, I wish we hadn't called it Warcraft. It sounds kind of intimidating.
But going back to 2021 and beyond, Kotaku was one of the biggest outlets out there reporting on this almost daily. They released dozens of articles reporting on everything happening. In fact, they even made an article implying that the CEO of Activision Blizzard not only knew about everything happening with these allegations, but was also bad to women himself. Another then Kotaku journalist, Jason Schreier, tried to use this for a profit. Now you have to understand,
French
this is
company
the
buys WoW, then Microsoft
top
buys it.
charts guy who was talking about Dragon Age: The Veilguard, trying to masquerade that.
He said a lot of retarded shit, and that even on the scale of being a Kotaku journo, again, derogatory.
As a success story based on Steam numbers, and of course, he said that was only to own the chuds. He's also the same guy who has routinely tried to demonize studios for having too many white men in their ranks.
Who is that? Oh, there's one of the dumb things he said. What company is this? Because I'm sure they're making a good game.
Demonize studios for having too many white men in their ranks. He's also the guy who called gamers predators for liking characters like this. But of course,
for those not in the know, he called, I think she's just called Sorceress or whatever from what is that? Dragon's Crown, Dragon something. I think Dragon's Crown. He called her a lolly That character you're seeing right there. Because words don't mean anything anymore, I guess.
Redditors for liking characters like this. But of course, the big thing with
Own the Chuds? Who's laughing now? The Chuds. The Chuds are laughing now. Hell, Chuds own things so hard, Chuds now own Chud. Now D&D is making a WoW campaign book. What's D&D? I don't even know at this point. No one cares.
Jason Schreier is that he knew about these supposed allegations for nearly 2 years, and he held on to them to publish them in a book. So if this guy actually cared about any of this and believed these women were in danger
and you should always believe women,
he waited 2 years,
obviously,
to release it in this book.
Year of the Chud,
because he wanted
it's a TTRPG like Lyrian Chronicles.
To monetize it. This is supposed to be the
D&D. Is that like Lyrian Chronicles? Yes.
And enjoy your New York Times bestseller, but your reputation is...
Yeah, but with a lot less classes and less based people involved and worse community and way too much gay shit and all that. But yeah, other than that, it's like Lyrian Chronicles.
Absolute garbage now. And Jason Schreier, Kotaku, the activist, and the state of California have been very quiet ever since this decision has gotten a lot of attention. This is the settlement, where, of course, the main takeaway is that no court or any independent investigation has substantiated any allegations
that
there has been systemic or widespread sexual harassment at Activision Blizzard, that Activision Blizzard senior executives ignored, condoned, or tolerated a culture of systematic harassment, retaliation, or discrimination.
Dude, the accusations were already so over the top from the very start. I'm not sure how, like, again, just because one side wanted to do the whole Me Too side thing and the other side didn't like Blizzard because they were woke and making shit games, I guess is why it caught on. But it was never believable, and it doesn't surprise me that a court couldn't lock that down.
In fact,
a lot of gay
this
couples in
post has
Moraine,
gone
yeah.
viral, summing up what happened here, saying, in case you didn't know, all of the allegations of sexual misconduct, abuse, harassment, and frat boy culture was entirely fake, and the state of California even admitted that there was no evidence substantiating any of the claims. The entire controversy around Blizzard was set up by California to force the company to stop hiring white men, using Me Too allegations to strong-arm them.
Wait, it's literally California's fault and racism's fault that that Blizzard is making even shittier games than they already were. Like, again, there was already a problem there, but they stopped the white people from making good games.
Some of these
fucking
accusations
California
were so bizarre and insane that they included theft and consumption of breast milk during work hours, a R-word room.
Everyone knows you steal and consume the breast milk after work hours. That's just freaking amateur hour right there.
Named after Bill Cosby, which, by the way, was named after him because of the very thick and colorful carpet in the room, which reminded them of a Bill Cosby sweater, but also the sexual harassment to the point of an employee ending their own life. All of these claims were essentially a theater performance.
This is the Quango police. Who here is hiding Quangos under the floorboards? Not me. If I had Quangos, I would turn them in. If I was hiding Quangos under the floorboards, it would just be so I could consolidate them in one place, so I could then turn them in. I am not allied with the Quangos. California made games gay. Yep. Hey Arkham, how's it going? Only turn them in. Yes. Oh, I see. Yes. I don't know. I mean, if someone's offering to take them off my hands, I'll give you the Quangos. And you can do what you want with them. It's always Callie's fault. Damn.
Over the fact that only 1 in 5 Blizzard employees were women. As a result, Blizzard agreed to pay roughly $18 million in fines and set up HR hiring practices that would discriminate against white men.
This is so fucking stupid. Dude. I hate. Give me a second. This just frustrates me so much because, again, like I was saying, it is blatantly unconstitutional too. You'd just having 20% of the workforce be women is not inherently discrimination. Like, you have to prove more. You can't just look at the outcome. You have to prove because outcome is not discrimination. You have to prove the intent. You have to, or intent is the wrong word because you can't always prove intent, but you have to prove the active discrimination. You have to prove some level of them denying a woman the job because she's a woman. That didn't happen. They're literally just looking at how many women were hired, how many women applied. Like, what if they were, this is possible too. What if they were actually hiring more women by percentage of applicants? You could reach that because people have different freaking interests. Maybe they didn't have, maybe 15% of the applicants were women and they filled the workforce with 20% of the women. That literally could have happened. You can't just be like, you don't have enough women working for you. That's discrimination. That's not how this works. Anyway,
internal messages between
holy shit, that
California
pisses me
Civil
off
Rights
though.
Division officials showed that the entire thing was a ploy to send a message to the industry to literally ruin.
Wait, do they have that on record? Send a message to the industry? It's in quotes. I hope this guy knows how quotes work. Did the California Civil Rights Division actually get caught saying it was to send a message to the industry?
Video games. It was so effing fake that Brack and Kotick literally paid their own employees to stage a walkout. After Blizzard...
Women in HR don't understand statistics. Many such cases. Lyrian Chronicles was made by women. It's not a women problem. It's shitty women problem. I didn't say women problem. Like, I wasn't even hating on women here. I'm saying that the logic didn't logic there. That just because you don't have enough women working for you, there's discrimination. I wasn't saying anything about women being bad. Of course, there are issues. And again, if we're just talking in aggregate, you are going to get better results. You are going to get better results with men than women. But again, there are going to be women that outperform men as well. It's not as common, but it will happen. So yes, there are women who will do the job better than men. Than the man for the job or whatever. Yeah, so it wasn't women bad. It was this logic is really fucking stupid. That's not how discrimination works.
Paid their own employees to stage a walkout. After Blizzard capitulated and announced it would discriminate in its hiring, the state walked back from a $1 billion lawsuit to a $55 million settlement and announced that all the allegations were false. And the reaction to this has been explosive.
It's also tiresome.
Saying, no, the government would never spend time and resources just to ruin your...
Not just to ruin your video games, they're also ruining culture and doing so much more too. And we've talked about community relations service, which is currently I think they're still trying to bring it back, but is currently still shut down. And wow, like, good work on that one. The community relations service does this sort of thing, but for victims of diverse violent crime. And yeah, again, the government has so many fucking organizations set up just to fuck society. Whoops.
Video games. The state of California literally funded the smear campaign against Blizzard. Here's another one from Grums, who was a former employee at Blizzard. It was all fake. I had friends at Blizzard telling me how nasty DEI people were digging through emails and Slack messages, trying to cancel people so they could take their jobs.
Doesn't surprise me.
You can see another one saying this freak destroyed a game studio out of jealousy, with Jason Schreier here, this absolute weasel.
Gross.
Who not only
NGOs
helped lead the charge.
It's both. There are organizations directly in the government, like I just said, and the California's Division on Civil Rights there, the Community Relations Service. There are plenty of government organizations, and also the non-government organization is a fucking lie. They're all Quangos, which is a quasi-non-governmental organization. Non-governmental organizations are a fucking scam. Most of them are, especially the biggest ones, are linked into government. Same goes for nonprofits. Like, it's all fucking fake and gay.
Against Activision Blizzard based on these allegations. He held on to them for 2 years until it was convenient and most monetizable for him through his book. But you still see people defending this situation, saying, how does this get 11K likes for such an obvious lie? Jingling white men oppressed keys for Twitter babies. Activision settled for $55 million.
Yeah?
Not understanding that the settlement doesn't prove the allegations. Okay, they admitted in that settlement.
Never hire anyone that would require an HR department to deal with. Sadly, you don't always know, but yes, honestly, good advice. HR departments do more harm than good, and if you can get away with not having one, don't do that, and just hire good, competent people who aren't retarded.
That there was nothing to substantiate.
The government ones were subverted by NGOs? Nah, mostly other way around. I mean, there's going to be give and take, but yeah, you can't blame NGOs for the government being shit. Bring back job IQ tests.
People are being willfully ignorant because this is the narrative that has been painted for 5 years. In fact, a lot of people just have outright accepted that this is the reality. And the one thing I haven't talked about is the impact on those involved. There are many developers at Activision Blizzard, or current or former, who have had their reputation destroyed by this. They are blackballed from the industry.
Which is so stupid. Again, considering the stupidity of the allegations, it's wild that went anywhere. Like, they were just not believable. Arkham, you're an awesome employee if you don't have an HR department. Nice.
It wasn't even that they were personally accused of anything. It was that they were a part of the workplace that was being accused. And of course, that affected not only their job, but their lives. And also with these changes and forced hiring practices, this is also something that affected the quality of games. I mean, it goes all the way down to the customers, ladies and gentlemen. This whole situation is a massive mess and reflects upon the mob mentality of not just the California government, but journalists and all these activists who participated in this massive smear campaign, because that's exactly what it's looking like based on this.
Totally off topic, and I should probably wait till the end of the video anyway, but I really can't wait for my computer to be back up and running. Super relieved with how the RMA stuff went. Hopefully that actually fixes things. And yeah, no, it's gonna be freaking exciting. There's gonna be so much things I can do.
Settlement. Until we know anything else, this looks like it was a giant smear campaign that was led out of many factors: jealousy, activism, trying to force will onto this company to change their practices. I mean, it's all just a giant mess,
as a schoolgirl,
ladies and gentlemen. But I'm very curious to hear what you guys think about this. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments section. But for now, that's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed, please consider giving the video a like, consider subscribing and turning on notifications for daily uploads, as well as multiple streams every week live here on YouTube. But overall, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
See you, Rev. What he said, like, comment, and subscribe. Like I said, it's gotten more important now, so it is a thing if you like the video. Thanks for watching. Peace. Yeah, I think we'll probably call it with Rev for now. That one looks interesting too, Halo, but we already talked Halo some. Who's this one? Because that's a... Oh, it's that one. Okay. Geez, these people are retarded. And it looks like we've got more Vex there too. Maybe this one would be interesting, but we'll move on for some non-Rev stuff. We do have the shoe on head one. I don't think I'll get to that tonight though. Basic Logic YouTube channel is a blast. I'll check. I'll look at it later. Let's see. Basic Logic. Asking HR why all the department staff of HR are women. That would be funny. Yeah, sue the HR departments for discrimination. Shoe watching shoe. Basic Logic. All right, I'll check that out at some point. Let's see. We do have Hero High. Oh, this is gonna be about what he. Oh shit. Yeah, we might have to watch both these. Wait. Oh god, we might have to watch multiple of these. Again, I like Hero High, and we've got Hassan, which again, I don't really like farming Hassan. It's boring and he's just obnoxious, but Hassan goes after gamers again, like that's worth checking out. Basic Logic is blowing up right now. Whoa, 100,000 subs in a day. Very nice. He understands per capita. I would hope so. Race and sex outcome stuff. Interesting. I will look at that. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, I think we might go in order. I'm not sure we'll hit all three, but yeah. I do want to check out this one. And I will be right back. I should add more to this. I do want to let me add that to the list as well. Ow. I want an AFK version of the model. Peer pressure. No, I will check it out. I just don't want to do new stuff today. But yeah, no, I will. Okay. Speaking of peer pressure, yes, I will pull it up and then I can subscribe to it so I don't forget as well. But yeah, we'll pull up Basic Logic and look at the thumbnails. Basic Logic. Oh God. Yep. Oh wow. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I see why you'd say I'd like this. We've got an honest review of civil rights. Hell yeah. Oh shit. Why do Western elites fear European bloodlines? Is that Klaus Schwab there? Racial egalitarianism. Holy shit. All right. Mass immigration, treason. Oh God. Oh shit. How to blaspheme modernity's false gods. Oh God. All right. Jeez. Be the rest of the stream. It's become Asmon's favorite channel. Oh wow. And if you're saying he gained 100,000 in a day and only has 255,000, like that's near doubling. Good for him, man. Good for him. Holy shit. Born Unequal is a good one. Every topic is red hot. Do a short one. Yeah. Someone said Born Unequal. We can check that out. Yeah, there's a lot to check out here. Why is India like that? Oh yeah. We do have to watch all these. Holy shit. Not tonight, but wow. Oh, let's go. Yep, super recently blew up. That's crazy cool. So worth my time. All right, yeah, we'll do at least one of these, see how we like it, and then. Oh shit! There's a one on the PDFs as well. Content for months? Hell yeah! All right, I will be right back though. Gonna grab something else to drink. Dude pulls no punches. Let's go. Like, yeah, I'm looking forward to this. All right. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. Uh we got him. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Unequal. Yeah, yeah. Born unequal. Yeah. I know, I already have it pulled up. All right, let's do this. Ahoy! I have not heard of this guy before. Apparently, he's blowing up. Chat was insistent I watch this, and I see why. Look at these freaking spicy thumbnails. But yeah, apparently he got noticed by Asmongold and is exploding. He almost doubled subscribers in a day, is what chat was telling me. Anyway, this next one was recommended to me, so we'll check this out and see what we think here. We have Born Unequal, Racial Egalitarianism, all arguments ranked and debunked. Let's go, dude. I'm freaking excited. They were like, dude, check it out, and I'm like, I'll just check it out later. I'll take this under advisement. We'll do this. But I don't feel like watching new stuff right now. They're like, just look at the thumbnails, and I'm like, holy shit. Okay, I'm locked the fuck in. All right, so let's see what we've got. I'll like it right off the bat. Like I've been saying, I hate to push it. YouTube made it really important to like the videos, so don't forget to like the video if you like the video. Mine and his, and it'll be linked down below. Anyway, let's get into it.
The West is racist. That's what mainstream leftism has been saying for decades. Why else would there be
Left's
such
hating
great
things?
disparities in income, crime rates, etc. between racial groups? In their worldview, all racial groups and cultures are equal. Therefore, all disparities can only be explained by
I know one way to have a country that doesn't have a bunch of disparities between the races. Just saying.
discrimination. And for just as long, the mainstream right has been counter-arguing that culture explains all disparities.
No, I have not seen any of this, Grumpy.
Worldview, some racial groups completely randomly adopted cultures that sabotage themselves. For them, culture is the root cause. Any racial group could theoretically adopt a culture that has worked for any other group and improve themselves.
I will say potentially, eventually, like it's not going to be an instantaneous thing, and there are issues. And we were talking the other day, not on stream. This was just with some friends, but about like some groups will have worse genetics. Like that is just a fact, and we don't even have to get into, and I'm sure he will based on the name. We don't have to get into whether or not that's like purely racial. There's also like sometimes there will just be mass inbreeding. You can say that is a fault of race or culture. But anyway, like you will actually degrade your genetics, and that's going to be really hard to recover from. But eventually you might be able to equalize some of the races. Whether or not that's worth it is another issue, and whether or not like how you would have to go about doing that is a question that would have to be answered as well, of course. But to some extent, you could pass on culture to other groups. It's not 100%. It's not going to be tabula rasa or anything like that, but I will give a little bit on that.
Assimilate anywhere. Both of these worldviews are nonsensical. Obviously, discrimination isn't the only factor, and culture clearly matters.
It's all culture at the same time. The most successful cultures are bad because they're too successful. Yeah, the irony is rich. And yeah, it's definitely not all culture. Like, that is insane. My point there was that culture is very important, and to some extent you can train someone into another culture, but there are going to be inherent things that are, or even if not inherent, things that are so ingrained in them over a long time in that other culture that it is going to be hard to fully replace that.
But just as obvious, a people's culture is not random. It's the product of the people.
IQ can be lowered but not raised, so equality means meeting at the bottom. Equality does, I agree with the second part. Equality does mean meeting at the bottom. That's what we see every time egalitarianism is pushed like that. IQ can be lowered but not raised. I don't think that's true. I haven't done the research, but it's a mix of environmental and whatever. Speaking of IQ, it's slipping my mind there. But yeah, there is an environmental thing, and you can train it as well. So you can change the environment they're in, and that will drag that will over time at least drag IQ up somewhat. So I do think you can increase IQ. It's hard, but it is doable. Like sometimes they are just in very bad situations, and you're not as a people going to be prioritizing training the sort of things that give you high IQ. So there is like a predisposition, there is a genetic component, but there is also the like the environment they're in as well, and that you can change. So yes, I get what you're saying. And to some extent agree, it is easier to lower IQ than raise IQ, that's for sure.
Who create and sustain it. And isn't there a more obvious root cause to consider?
Jealous because we are successful? To some extent. It's not pure jealousy. Like it is jealousy, it is resentment, but there is also this unfounded unexplored, like they don't even fully understand it. There's just this instinct towards wanting everything to be equal. So it's not even so much that they hate people for being better than them. They hate the inequality itself because they've been kind of brainwashed into that. So yes, it's very resentment based, but it's not just that. They also do view that gap as a massive sin.
Different groups are innately different and thus have different.
Twins have same IQ in different environment. Okay. Yeah, I have heard that sort of thing. But I'm not sure how exactly you go about that because like someone else just said there, abuse is good to lower IQ. So yeah, I'm not sure about the twin things because it does seem like some scenarios would mean that you would at least test lower on IQ, and that's how you measure IQ anyway. So you can say the genetic IQ would be the same. I'd imagine test results would be different though. Like they're not gonna test 100% on the IQ test, but I could be wrong. But it does seem like that would be weird. But I've heard that. I'm not super familiar with that study though.
Outcomes, even in the absence of outside forces. When studying group disparities, why don't we examine the groups themselves? You already know why. Because in our modern society, one of the most sacred dogmas is racial egalitarianism. The belief that all...
you imagine if we created something that could bring people's IQ up to a minimum of 160 or higher and it had no bad side effects, they would try and ban it? Yeah, because that would also, that would be... Again, they hate growth as well. Like they don't like improvement. IQ is like a stat in Dark Souls. It has soft cap and hard cap. Also high. Stupid people are easy to control. Yes.
Racial groups are fundamentally the same, which is precisely why in this video I'll be ranking and debunking all arguments for racial egalitarianism and then putting them on a tier list. If you enjoyed, consider subscribing.
What was that? It was so coherent argument, strong even if I disagree. Then we've got flawed, premise undermines conclusion. We've got NPC, serious failure in reasoning, and abyss, deceptive or ignorance as a choice.
Egalitarianism, and then putting them on a tier list. If you enjoyed, consider subscribing. It helps the channel. A quick disclaimer. Since this entire debate exists because of the collective disparities between entire groups, we'll therefore be dealing with collective group averages. Therefore, the existence of exceptional individuals of any group isn't relevant, as they are precisely that, exceptions. If you're the kind of person who accuses other groups collectively when it suits you, but then accuse others of racism if they don't treat members of your group as individuals, you can click off.
What was that?
If you're the kind of person who
Okay.
accuses other groups collectively when it suits you,
Okay.
but then accuse others of racism if they don't treat
Yep.
members of your group as individuals,
Yep.
you can click off. Intelligence is not genetically linked. This obviously falls.
Okay, and at least like, because again, I said there are various links. Like the idea that it's not linked at all is stupid. IQ is genetically linked.
Intelligence is not genetically linked. This obviously false statement is a necessary act of mental gymnastics for the purely socioeconomic factors crowd. Because intelligence is heritable, as shown
Socioeconomic
from
factors
twin and
mentioned.
adoption
Oh
studies,
God, we have to get Silas on this too. We have to get Silas on this.
it's completely within reason to say that certain groups have selected for it more than others. In fact, if you agree with evolution, then you must concede this. How else would humans have evolved intelligence?
Yeah, it is kind of funny. It is kind of funny, the evolution argument. And I like the phrase what is it? Genetics are only skin deep, or evolution stops at the neck, or something like that. Like, it really does just naturally follow that if you take evolution and apply that, it's natural that people are going to evolve different thinking. Like, they're going to prioritize different things. If a certain scenario needs higher brain power and evolution is the system you're working under, evolution is going to push those people to be smarter. Like, basically, if evolution is real, there is going to be genetic differences in IQ. Like, that is incredibly coherent. Speaking of coherence,
Some dog breeds are obviously smarter than other dog breeds. The Border Collie and Chihuahua are both the same species, yet differ greatly in intellect and trainability. Should we expect that a Chihuahua would do as well as a Border Collie? Is it purely socioeconomic factors and anti-Chihuahua racism that makes them a minority in working dog roles? NPC tier. Humans are genetically 99.9% identical. You share half of your genes with a banana. 90% of your DNA sequence is shared with
tabula
your cat.
rasa is BS. Yes.
Quantitative similarities between genetic content does not equal qualitative differences. That 0.1% matters.
Yep.
Did you know that gray wolves are 99.9% identical to domestic dogs? In fact, they only diverged from each other about 20 to 30,000 years ago, which is significantly shorter than the divergence between some human groups. But obviously that doesn't mean it's okay to bring a gray wolf to the dog park. If gray wolves on average end up being more aggressive than dogs, solely blaming it on just socioeconomic factors like dog trait disparities seems a little silly. Because remember, aggression, impulse control, personality traits are all also genetically linked. NPC tier. There is more intragroup variance than intergroup. This claim says that the genetic difference between one randomly selected person and the
What? Is this the outlier argument though? Like, like,
village and another randomly selected person in the same village is greater than the genetic difference between the average person of one race and the average person of another.
But
therefore, race is inconsequential. The premise is true, but there's a flaw in this logic. Not all genes are made equal. Most random genetic variance between people doesn't matter. But some specific genes matter so much that practically the entire group adapted to have those genes and are often defined by it. For example, the Duffy negative mutation, which is found in 95 to 100% of West and Central Africans, makes them immune to malaria. But 0% of those without African blood have it. Or the Tibetans' EPAS-1, which allows them to survive in high altitudes where oxygen is reduced by about 40%, which occurs for them about 90% of the time, but 0% for Africans and Europeans.
Whoopsies.
Or the ABCC11 gene that makes 80 to 95% of East Asians have no sweat odor, but again, practically non-existent elsewhere. This becomes even more complex when it comes to traits that are influenced by multiple genes. We haven't fully isolated the genes that are responsible for intelligence or personality, yet we do know both are genetically linked. And I think we can
Girl.
both agree that social
Some people act like animals. Yes, that's
cohesion caused by similarities in intellect and character is vastly more important to survival than odorless sweat. Flop tier.
huh.
Race is a social construct.
Yeah, that's gotta be bottom tier abyss. That's gotta be bottom tier abyss. Ah, race is a social construct. Heck no.
Nowadays, whenever a leftist says X is a social construct, you should just interpret that as code for I have no counter to this observable aspect of reality.
Huh.
It's not an argument, it's just wordplay. What does social construct even mean anymore? Anything that humans have a socialized concept for? By that logic, everything is a social construct. The sun, the earth, molecules,
Well, no, because things are real. But again, if you're saying that like how it's viewed or the acknowledgement of it is a social construct, then yeah, everything is.
Everything has a socialized concept, as proven by the fact that I can name them and you know what I'm talking about. The fact that we have
Just
a social
words, yeah.
construct surrounding any aspect of reality does not
Better
mean
stay
that
there.
aspect of reality is made
Freaking
up.
abyss tier.
In fact, we build social constructs around real things out of necessity. Abyss tier.
Good.
IQ tests are unreliable. For many decades,
I don't know enough about it. Yeah, I don't know enough about that one. Maybe I've bought into some of the NPC propaganda. I don't know. And again, if we're just talking in aggregate, then I do think they're meaningful. It might not correctly measure everyone's IQ. Like there are going to be people who slip through the cracks or whatever, I'd imagine. Like there are going to be individual failure points, but it's probably, well, I shouldn't even say probably. It's clearly just when you see CIQ distribution and compare that to the behavior of various groups and the various average IQs, it's clear that IQ is measuring something.
race egalitarians have had to deal with the world IQ map, which showed interesting patterns between IQ score and identity. Their only rebuttal has been either that IQ is not meaningfully influenced by genetics, which is demonstrably false, and that IQ has issues.
Yes.
I don't contest the latter, but it's the best we've got. IQ is the best predictor of success that we have, even more so than being born rich. Some then argue that IQ in reality should be used as a predictor of success in Western society.
IQ, you tested at 135 and you're fucking retarded. IQ test means very little. I don't know, man.
Rather than intelligence. Fine then. If IQ is a reliable metric for success
You know people who get their race genetically tested and also say race is a social construct. That's pretty funny.
in Western society, then naturally those of low IQ will not do well in Western society, and therefore we should not be importing them. Nor should we expect low IQ groups to have similar outcomes to high IQ groups, even in the absence of discrimination. Since IQ is so artificially advantageous in the West, let those of low IQ thrive in other societies.
Yeah.
Why do they insist on coming into our ones where they'll suffer? The reason is because there are no societies where high IQ isn't advantageous. NPC tier. Culture fully explains disparities.
As we've said, like this one goes hand in hand with not IQ is not genetically linked. Like if there's some level of genetic linkage, which it's like we said, it's pretty clear that there is, then you also can't fully explain the disparity with culture.
This is everyone's favorite cope when they don't agree that the West is discriminating against certain groups, but don't want to give leftists reasons to call them racist. Here's the thing, you're going to be called racist regardless when you disagree, so you might as well be honest. Why do some groups adopt or create certain cultures more readily than others? Both genes and culture obviously have an effect on each other. Genetics influence what culture you're most innately compatible with, and culture works as a form of selection. But which came first, genetics or culture? This isn't a philosophic question. Genes obviously predate culture. Culture is a product of a people, not the cause of it, even if there is a feedback loop. Just because a culture works for one group of people doesn't mean it works for all. Abyss tier. Different.
I wonder why that selection though. Like That one could go either way. That's NPC or Abyss. Like I think race is a social construct, clearly Abyss tier. Culture explains all is, like I said, kind of in the same category as not genetically linked. Um yeah. Yeah. I guess yeah, I don't know.
One group of people
It's kind of in
doesn't mean
between.
it
It's kind
works
of in
for
between
all.
because I can
Abyss
see
tier.
the NPC argument for it too. Like like I said, similar to the other ones. It's just a easy answer to some of the questions that are potentially concerning. So I can see the NPC argument as well. But yeah, no, I'm fine with Abyss tier. 'Cause, yeah, I think the other ones are more understandable as NPCs buying it.
Different groups are different for a reason. They adapt.
Okay, so you're racist, yeah, and yeah, yeah, I'm racist by many definitions. Again, I preach don't judge individuals based on their race, but do notice patterns, and that's enough to be called racist. So, by those definitions, I'm definitely racist. Even though, again, even though I'm always saying that you can't bring this down to the individual level, I'm still totally racist. Cultures can affect development of children, which can then affect the IQ of the average individual in that area. And on top of that, culture or differences can show how that IQ can be expressed. Yeah, yeah.
To survive in their own unique circumstances. The expectation that you can transplant the people from one part
Government culture affects IQ distribution by sorting people.
world
Not
into
quite
another,
sure, but
and
yeah,
that they'll integrate
probably
and
to some
perform at
extent.
identical levels to anyone else is a delusion rooted in the routinely debunked blank slate ideology. An ideology perpetuated solely by the fear of being labeled racist. That concludes the tier list. If there are any other arguments you'd like to see addressed, please share them in the comments below.
Oh, what? What?
If there are any
Oh, Chud Tube. I thought that was Chud Tech. I thought he was talking about the Chud Tech. That would have been funny. But yeah, he's got a I guess debate or discussion with someone for 3 hours. Nice. Nice. All right. That's interesting. Thank you for watching. Whoops. I did not mean to click that.
other arguments you'd like to see addressed,
Thank you
please
for
share them in
watching.
the comments
As always,
below.
like, comment, and subscribe. Peace. That was interesting. We will have to check out another one of those. Peace. Smartest Jews or North Koreans escape bad government. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah. Just trying to think how that you're noticing patterns. That's illegal. Don't do that. North Koreans outside of North Korea average 108, while it's closer to 94 in North Korea. Yeah. And those, but you can also make that the other way around. Like those will eventually become not necessarily full on different races, but like it's gonna be a very different culture, which is then going to become and patterns, which will then become a different subgroup of people. Like, yeah, it's interesting. Pattern recognition is incredibly racist. Oh hell yeah, cool. Hey Rudy. That's why they don't like IQ. It's a test about pattern recognition. Yeah. Mexico-U.S. border. All right. Might have to do civil rights again because we've talked about that. Yeah, there's some really interesting stuff here we'll have to check out. I probably won't hit a bunch of them tonight, but this is definitely something I'm going to be coming back to. Thanks again for showing it to me. Oh man, that's good. But yeah, I do definitely want to see that one because that's definitely, speaking of noticing patterns, yeah, they seem to hate Europeans for some reason. Smart people move where it's most beneficial. Sometimes. Very similar genetics, but different IQ. Yes, but it's but it's the outliers like we were talking about. Like it's the people who leave are the outliers in that thing. It's just it's now a sorting of an outlier, which is taking the smartest and removing them from the others. So that it does affect the average to some extent. But I need to see the numbers. Like like you were saying, 108 versus 94. How many is that group of 108 average North Koreans though? Like is it 100,000? Is it a million? What is it 10,000? What's the number there? Yeah, get some other people in on this too. Gravy, Silas, that could be fun. Let's see. Well, because IQ is broken down in the 4 different parts, you can have high score in one part and have low scores than others, and it can bring up the average, so you can still be dumb as dirt. Yes, many such cases. Escaping North Korea is uncommon. Yeah, exactly. So you're talking massive outliers there. So yeah, just like you said at the start of the video, you can't just focus on. So yeah, you can't say like all North Koreans are 94 IQ, because that's clearly not true, because you're going to have the outliers, and if they all happen to be escaping, that's one thing. So, but yeah, I mean, you will also have 108 IQ North Koreans inside North Korea as well, and like not every 108 North Korean is going to escape. So it's not really that different where they are. It's you will always have those 108 IQ North Koreans. And again, it's actually going to be higher because you're talking averages. So like some of the people escaping are going to be like 130 IQ. And likewise, you're going to have 130 IQ North Koreans inside North Korea. Remove the upper end of the gene pool, the average has to come down. Slightly though. Like you can be talking 0.1% or whatever, depending on how much you're removing. Borders as a filter. Okay. What else we got? Oh. Interesting. Female police officers. There's a lot going on here, man. All right. Bad environments trap low IQ and release high IQ. Yeah. Oh boy, we were just introduced to this this channel, and holy shit, it's living up to the hype. All right, let's go ahead and check this out. We will like the video. Like I said, YouTube changed some stuff, so if you like the stuff, like the stuff. Thanks. Yeah, let's go.
The Civil Rights Act is lauded as the crowning achievement of the civil rights movement that finally ended legal racism and brought about equality for black people in America. But today...
And everything got better, right? And everything got better. I've said before, I hate the Civil Rights Act.
America is still accused of institutional racism, key liberties such as freedom of association were sacrificed, and racial tensions are rising. So what happened? In this video, I will go over the Civil Rights Act and give my honest thoughts on its consequences.
90s were
if you
peak.
enjoyed the video, consider subscribing. It helps the channel. One of the goals of the Civil Rights Act
90s were great, but already heading downhill. Like all the problems that came up in the later all the problems that came up after the 90s were existent in the 90s, just to a lesser extent.
Proposed Jim Crow laws that often forced private business owners to segregate and not service customers on the basis of group identity. This is a fair goal. Jim Crow laws were a flagrant breach of freedom of association. That is, the right of an individual to choose with whom he shares company and does business with, free from coercion. But instead of defending freedom of association, Title II of the Civil Rights Act instead mandated that an individual must do business with customers on the basis of identity, or
fuck
suffer
that.
consequences. It's the same violation of liberty as Jim Crow, just in reverse. Why wasn't upholding freedom of association enough by itself? On paper, the idea that private owners were now
Because
forced to not
budget
reject
communists.
customers on the basis of identity sounds good. An end to the irrational refusal to service people based solely on the color of their skin. But things are rarely that simple. Economists have long argued that it is unnecessary to force private businesses to desegregate because the market already provides the proper incentives. An irrationally racist owner who refuses customers for no good reason is losing out on business and gets outcompeted by a non-racist rival, thus rendering the clause unnecessary.
Unless-
the market would sort this out on its
Unless
own. But defenders of the Civil Rights Act argue that despite these market incentives, racist
this is kind of funny watching this right after the one about the racial egalitarianism and whether or not all races are equal and blank slate tabula rasa and all that bullshit. So yeah, in some scenarios you actually are going to profit better by discriminating. So it's not 100% that the store owner who doesn't discriminate is going to outcompete the one that does.
business practices still dominated large parts of America, even in
But it's
the
kind of a yeah
absence of Jim
and
Crow laws.
thing.
And they're not wrong.
Because again,
Both
freedom of association is a good thing. So if people want to discriminate, they can. Many of them will fail because it is correct. Like, it is often not a good move to be a racist prick. But you should have the option.
sides are factually correct. So what's going on here? There's only one answer. What if the racist business owner isn't being irrational? What
If you want freedom of discrimination, you are required to have zoning laws, X only shops area, Y shops only area, and XY shops area? No.
hypothetically, there was a group of people who, on average, while being serviced, are more likely to refuse to pay to
Here we go.
isn't being irrational. What if, hypothetically, there was a group of people who, on average, while being serviced, are more likely to refuse to pay, to steal items, to harass
funny.
customers and staff, and generally cost the private owner more? What if he was forced to spend money on additional security, specifically to protect products typically used by that certain group? What if the additional business from the honest members of that group wasn't worth the increased risk of the dishonest members of that group? That would explain the situation perfectly. Some of you may counter-argue, claiming that
Usual
the real reason
suspects.
for the
Yep.
business owner's actions is because the majority of his clients are racist, so he'd lose out on business if he integrated. Perhaps that's true, but then we'd have to ask, why are his clients being racist? Are they also irrational? Or is there something to it? The same logic applies to employment. Title
Yes.
7 of the Civil Rights Act, probably the most controversial title, forced an end to the
Well, and again, even if it's not discrimination, like we were talking about in the Blizzard one, outcome is not proof of discrimination. So if you're just hiring the best people for the job and they just happen to be white, for example, that's not discrimination. Like, if you're turning down someone who would be better at the job than the white applicant, that's discrimination. Like, if you're doing it because of the race issues, if you're like, this person is not white, so we're not hiring them, even though they're better, they have a better resume, they tested better, they could clearly perform better, but they're not white, so we're not hiring them. That's discrimination.
discrimination.
And whether or not that should be allowed is a separate issue. But my point is, merely not hiring certain people of a certain race on average is not discrimination, actually.
And hiring practices. It suffers the same issues as Title II, except worse, because what counts as discrimination? A racist employer could always argue that a candidate came up short in some arbitrary way, and there'd be no way of telling if he was being discriminatory or genuine.
Yeah.
So the government came up with a solution in future years. Disparate outcomes.
See? Dude, we're on the same page here. Yep. No, that's bullshit.
In essence, a court decides what counts as an identity group, compares it to another identity group, and if there's a discrepancy in outcome, assumes the cause is always discrimination.
Retarded!
Because there's definitely nothing else that could possibly account for differences between group averages. It's effectively a legal mandate enforcing the blank slate theory, even though it's been debunked over and over again. The consequences were dire. Businesses now felt like they had to hire a certain number of minorities, or else face legal consequences.
Yep.
This
Yeah. Lefties think you should hire the quadriplegic stock boy first. Yes, it's... Again, they take it to such an extreme. They think it's discrimination if you won't hire someone who can't do the job, like who's physically incapable or mentally incapable of doing the job. It's like, oh no, you got to hire that guy, or it's discrimination.
led to the development of race quotas, affirmative action, and other travesties. The Civil Rights Act was meant to protect people from discrimination, but race quotas do exactly the opposite.
Was it meant to protect people from discrimination? I would say no. I'd say yet another psyop.
A qualified candidate that would have been hired otherwise could be rejected simply because he wasn't of a protected group. And the company wants to preemptively protect themselves against accusations of discrimination. And perhaps even worse is the chosen enforcement system.
Deaf interpreter, but no problem. And it is funny that again, there's a lot of overlap here with the Blizzard stuff and some of the other stuff we've been talking about.
And perhaps even worse is the chosen enforcement system. If an individual felt like a company was discriminating against a protected group, they could file a report with a federal agency called the
I was qualified in sheet.
EEOC, which would investigate the claim and then demand some kind of compensation. The most common way of which
No, that's fake. They don't give it to the quote unquote victim, or at least not all of it. They'd like rip that in half or something, keep half of it.
Compensation. The most common way of which was for the company to just pay them, which provided a financial incentive for citizens to constantly cry racism with no consequences. If the company refused, the EEOC would sue them and bring them to court. At that point, the company would have to try to prove their innocence, and the only surefire way of doing that is having equal representation among all protected groups, which is what caused the race quotas in the beginning. And as the number of protected groups expanded, not just race, but also gender, orientation, etc., the worse these systems became.
And again, the progressivism never stops. It's you just keep going and going and going and going. So they'll add things that were never even intended, like really weird stuff too, like characteristics that aren't even immutable. So I'm not sure how that's discrimination.
Into modern-day DEI initiatives. Another controversial title was Title IV, focusing on desegregating education and building upon the Brown v. Board of Education ruling from 10 years prior. There's a misconception that the Civil Rights Act only targeted public education. In truth, while Title IV did only focus on public education, Title VI put pressure on private schools by withholding funding. And later, in 1976, following a Supreme Court decision, Title IV was effectively expanded to all forms of education. Parents were not happy about this. They really didn't want to put their kids in the same institutions as kids of other certain groups, and some opted for homeschooling or local community schooling. But why? The official narrative is that they were just too racist, too full of
evil
irrational
racists.
hatred. That might have been the case for some of them, but just like for the business owners, what if there was a more rational concern? Could it be that a certain group was known to, on average, be more delinquent, bully kids?
Percentage of U.S. high school students who were in physical fight. Okay. And it's exactly what you'd think.
More cause problems and turn faculties into hotbeds for crime? Could it also be that due to innate differences between the averages of those groups, that the faculty would have to accommodate for their unique challenges?
Math is racist.
Therefore reducing the overall quality of education for the rest. If that were the case, then it would make sense that these parents would prefer to homeschool.
Yep. And once again, equality / egalitarianism is just pulling people down, crab in the bucket style.
Or set up local faculties of trusted community members.
No,
instead of
no
sending
stereotypes were harmed in the making of this graph. True and real.
their kids to public facilities, which is exactly what they did. But of course, that's not real integration, and homeschooling was a legal gray area at the time. So the federal government resorted to sending armed troops to force attendance in desegregated faculties. If parents didn't send their kids, they could be hit with fines, jail time, or even lose custody. Here's a thought. If you need the threat of violence against another group to force them to associate with your group because they refuse to do so otherwise, maybe the problem isn't them. And why do you even want to associate with them so badly? If they're so irrationally hateful towards you, why would they make good associates? Unless, of course, there's something about their society that you want that your group can't replicate. Because here's the truth. If your group provides value to those they interact with, people will naturally want to associate. You don't need force. Forced association is only
value isn't real. Something. Labor theory of value. If I'm laboring, my value is real.
necessary for those who have nothing to offer, but plenty to take. So here's my review for the Civil Rights Act. 1 out of 10. It caused the very thing it claims to stand against. People are more racist.
Whenever you hear about these supposedly well-intentioned measures, you can't help but think the road to hell is paved with good intentions. For some people, I do think there's a lot of intentional malice as well. Like, it is done for subversive measures. Plenty of the supporters had good intentions and didn't realize they were paving the road to hell with those good intentions, but plenty of the people at the top pulling the strings are doing it on purpose. Again, due to some equality weirdness, wanting to pull everyone down because they hate they hate the gap, they hate the successful. But yeah, it's not done in good faith from the top.
Now and more afraid than they've been in a long time. And when you combine it with data from black families from before the 1960s and after, I think it's clear no one won with this arrangement.
True. All right, thanks for watching. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe. Peace. You saw a body cam video where some Gen Z chick didn't believe in private property. I saw some Gen Z, I don't know if she was Gen Z because I was actually listening to it, but there was also footage going around of a woman being asked questions and said she didn't believe in prisons and was fine with, even as an example, rapists being out and about on the street because punishing them would be wrong or something like that. Since IQ came up before you decided to take an online IQ test, you know it's an estimate and will not truly measure IQ, but figured you'd do it anyway for the fun of it. Heck yeah. Discernment is key in many such cases. Women's suffrage, we'll check that out as well. Probably not tonight, though. We didn't ask for these, and they want to segregate again. Yeah. Nick Shirley interview. Oh, yeah, I think so. All right, but yeah, we will be done with basic logic for now. That's fun, though. Yeah, we were going to check out this one. I think we go back to that one. 116 overall, 123 for memory, 112 for verbal, and 119 for spatial. All right. One more, Keen. Not tonight, probably. I'm getting a little tired too. I want to save some of those for when I'm less tired as well. So yeah, we'll probably do Hero High. Oh, there was one other thing I wanted to check out, but again, man, I wish I had a little bit more energy. I'm tired and want to want to do stuff tomorrow too. Got stuff I have to catch up on still. Oh yeah, got another meeting tomorrow as well. Dude, I'm so glad that those parts got accepted for RMA. That helps so much. Again, hopefully that fixes my problem. But yeah, no, that'll be fun. That'll be fun, dude. Dude, my computer's giving me so much problem. It's amazing. Like, again, I swapped out every part. Speaking of Theseus, I swapped out every part and still didn't work. So again, hopefully getting fresh new parts that should be more guaranteed to be working. Of course, never a full guarantee, but yeah, hopefully that'll get things back up and running. And then hopefully is PC isn't situated yet, but yes, it's a big step in the right direction. Alcohol is fuel. Am I on a dry month? Yeah, actually, and probably dry 2 month. I'll give myself a couple cheat days, but probably not the first month. But yeah, so I think first month will be completely dry. Then we'll do another dry month, and with like four days where I can drink or something like that. I don't know. And alcohol is fuel. Honestly, again, it's a depressant. I'd probably say it drags you down more than fuels you. Again, it's fun. I like it. But yeah, I don't know. It's probably not helpful. Ethanol-based humans have lower T and higher E. Maybe. Need to get the group together for other video. That would be fun. Since I have a second computer, I would suggest setting up a bootable Linux USB. Linux ignores Windows file permissions, so you can retrieve data that way. I don't think that would work because this is the stuff I care about most is locked up in a browser. Like, I want my accounts back, which are in browser. But yes, I do want to set up a Linux thing just because Windows does have some issues. So I probably will get another SSD and dual boot for Linux as well. But yeah, I don't think it'll help with the oh, I see what you're saying. Alcohol is fuel. Yes, there's some very cool things you can do with alcohol. But yeah, so anyway, Linux is something I want to mess around with at some point. It's not at the top of priorities, but is something I want to do, but it won't help with file recovery. Okay, cool. Alrighty, but yeah, let's go ahead and check this out. And yeah. Ahoy! Hassan tried to own gamers. It backfired horribly. We love a good backfire. And as I always say when we do the Hassan stuff, I'm not a huge fan of farming Hassan for content. It's boring, but we've been talking about gamers, and this looks interesting, so I'm curious to see what we got here. And I like Hero High.
Hassan Piker, now suddenly an expert in the gaming industry, responds to news from IGN. Yes, IGN also experts in the gaming industry, totally not a bunch of corrupt journalists with horrible reputations. But let's take a look at what Hassan and IGN are saying here. So IGN says EA CEO got an $8 million raise thanks to how well Battlefield 6 performed, 4 months after the devs responded.
Boot with Linux and copy all your browser data to save account registered on there. It's OS locked.
Responsible for making the game got laid off. And Hassan says, this is what's destroying gaming, quote unquote, by the way. Not woke, DEI, or whatever the neckbeard streamers and slop tubers want you to believe.
Dude, I love this sort of thing because it's so blatant. Like, not woke DEI or whatever neckbeard streamer. So yeah, not thing I support's fault, not other thing I support's fault, and not whatever people I hate's fault. Not whatever people's I hate say it is. Like, so it's not the thing I support, the other thing I support, and it's definitely not what my enemies say it is. It's like, okay, this is clearly a fair and unbiased perspective here that just happens to align with all of your things you're already pushing, all of your agenda, all of your narrative. This is just a useless statement because it's so blatant. Yeah.
And it's like, dude, gamers have been criticizing EA for what, like around a decade or so?
Yep.
Like, oh yeah, this is what's destroyed gaming. You guys don't know what you're talking about. Actually, we've been talking about that for much longer than Hassan has. But guess what? There's multiple things going.
If games are shit, why do you buy them? I haven't said I do. I do buy games, but I don't buy games I think are shit. It's not all of them.
On here, son.
And
we can
that's the thing. If a game is shit, I don't buy. Like, if I know a game is shit, I don't buy it. Clearly,
greedy, corrupt executives at EA, sure. But we could also
Fable
talk
is
about
hilarious.
The DI swap in games like Concord, Veilguard, SSK the JL. We can make a whole giant list. But let's talk about a more recent example right now, unfolding right now. Literally, look at Halo.
Halo,
a once iconic franchise, a lot of people enjoyed.
By
I
the
never
good
got
games,
into it,
yep.
Thankfully. I'm really glad about that because look what it's become. Granted, I know the pain in a different way because I used to like BioWare and I used to like Bethesda. And look what's become of those companies. Ugh. But sticking with Halo, it's no coincidence that the more Halo began engaging in DI.
Bethesda isn't super bad. They're just fucking lazy. Like, they don't even really do games anymore. And the last one was a flop. But it's not woke in quite the same way as like what happened to BioWare. So yeah, I don't think that's, again, Bethesda's been screwing up big time, but just not quite in the same way.
Slop, the quality of the games have also plummeted. And instead of focusing purely on making good games, what do? Hey, we've got LGBT colored Halo armor, guys. Aren't we great?
Ugh.
You should totally give us your money. You should support our corporation because we pander with rainbow capitalism. Shockingly, some people actually eat that right up. They just unquestionably consume the slop. Like, wait,
Consume slop.
LGBT rainbow armor? Oh, sold. Yes. Like, dude, get some thinking skills, please. You're being used like a freaking tool. Another somewhat recent example. Look at Bungie and everything that's gone down recently with Marathon and Destiny.
Oh.
But these guys, months ago, I think it was February 2026, they're bragging about how guys, we have George Floyd-inspired hair textures in our games that we're working on. This is groundbreaking research. Meanwhile, Destiny players are like baking textures in our games that we're working on.
Afro-textured hair was entirely missing. Ugh.
Working on. This is groundbreaking research. Meanwhile, Destiny players are like begging for dev support. What do they get? Nah, we got Marathon and our George Floyd hair research to focus on. Forget Destiny. We don't
yeah.
need you guys anymore. And those are literally just some examples I came up with in 2 minutes sipping some coffee this morning. I could keep talking about this for so long. I've got so many examples. We could start taking more of a financial angle too. Start talking about Bridge and DI and SG and BlackRock and Vanguard and how many AAA companies have significant investments from these capital firms that push.
We were talking about that earlier too. It's crazy how many of these things overlap as well. Also, coffee mentioned. We love our coffee, don't we, folks? Yeah, I got more coffee coming tomorrow and more coffee coming the day after that. I was running low.
ESG, and we haven't even gotten started about the whole diversity consultation company grift that you see from corpos like Sweet Baby Inc. That's a whole other angle. There's a lot to unpack here, Hassan. You sure you want this conversation? Or how about we talk about how some of these companies push DI slop and literally get paid by the government to do it?
Yep, we were talking about that earlier as well. And it doesn't really matter too if like, yes, we can break down his argument. You can also just point out that he was recently hating on gamers too. So I mean, I guess he's still kind of doing that, but like now he's acting like he cares about games or whatever, that it's not DEI, it's not woke, it's not the neckbeards say it is, it's EA being bad. I'm defending these things in gaming. Bro, you were just saying all gamers are losers. And okay, I should be fair. I know I shouldn't be fair. You know what? Fuck it. I shouldn't be fair to Hassan. We're turning over a new leaf. We're not going to be fair to our enemies. So fuck it. I could quantify that and say how I'm going to be fair or whatever, but no, fuck it. Fuck Hassan.
Wait, you want to talk about Dustborn? Hey, we're anti-establishment. We're rebellious. But then in reality, they were getting funding from the government. But hold on, guys. IGN wrote an article.
A lot of people don't look into the games they're about to buy. Yeah, that's a skill issue, though. They don't do any research. Yeah, I know. But if you're plugged in, you will hear some of the negative press anyway. But yeah, no, some people just consume, and not a whole lot we can do about that.
Talking about how EA CEO is greedy.
Oh yeah, there we go. Pragmata players, the unfuckable losers and all that. Yep.
Again, wow, are we supposed to be surprised? Gamers have been talking about how greedy and corrupt EA is for literally years upon years upon years. But yeah, this being a thing apparently invalidates everything that we just talked about. None of that's really going on. This is the only thing that matters in the industry. Yeah, no.
Many such cases.
Talk about the snug premise here from IGN, where they're trying to frame these devs as like poor, unfortunate victims. The reality is, a lot of devs, especially in this day and age, are hired temporarily.
There's no such thing as an innocent dev.
Contract that they agree to. They know the terms. They like the contract. They agree to it. They do the job. They get paid, and that's that. Basically, like, hey, thanks for your work. Here's your money. Best of luck to you. The fact of the matter is, in game development, after the game is complete and released, you don't need the same amount of people to keep working on it. You need some for QA, you need some for bug fixing, potential updates you want to roll out, maybe DLC and all that, right? But you don't need like the full team. Now, sometimes there's another project in the pipeline that devs will be shifted to, but a lot of the time there's not, at least not yet. And so the contracts end. But then suddenly we're supposed to feel bad. Like, oh my gosh, that's so messed up. These people got laid off. And it's like, they quite literally didn't. Like, everything actually worked out for them. This is not a layoff. Now, sometimes there are layoffs, right?
Yeah,
sometimes
like
you have a dev that's on more of a salary.
And there have been big layoffs because, again, the industry is struggling big time. So there have been big layoffs, but then there's also been a bunch of whiners.
Salary basis, and a company might lay them off, but a lot of the time, journalists conflate these two things together, and it's just pure manipulation. And they do this because they want to try to get...
Dude, I'm just looking forward to it. And again, hopefully it works out, not counting my chickens before they hatch or whatever. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting my computer back. Finally, I'm seeing the game plan. I'm like, oh, I can play games again if I get this working.
All devs should unionize.
Ugh.
Now, if they really think that all devs should unionize, they should present this argument in a more... honest way, a more genuine, honest way. But a lot of the time they don't. They lie, they gaslight, they manipulate, they do everything they can, except the right thing, to try to get people to support their argument. The good news is most people see right through this sort of manipulation tactic, and gaming journalists, well, no one really cares what they have to say anymore. And journalism overall has become one of the least trusted, least respected professions in the entire world. I'm not even just talking about gaming journalism now. I'm talking about the whole thing. Because a lot of these journalists, like I said, and as you guys know, I'm kind of preaching to the choir here, they've been lying to everyone about so many topics for years upon years upon years. I keep going back to that.
Many such cases.
And the last thing, for argument's sake, let's say now we're actually talking about a legitimate layoff. Let's say a dev was on salary and they ended up getting laid off. Well, there's still a lot of context into that. The journalists, once again, they want us to just blindly support the dev in this context, but we need more context.
With all these problems in the gaming industry, you wonder if as people get better at using AI, we'll start seeing new major game franchises created by people who genuinely love video games. I would imagine so. We're already going to start to see that, and it's only going to take off. Like just like what we've seen with, I mean, I'm on the team that did the Lyrian Chronicles anime. And we've seen other people doing long form AI content in video form. We are going to see more and more of that in gaming form as well.
We don't know the sort of work they were doing. We don't know if they were doing good or bad work. We don't know if they were a nasty person. We don't know anything. Maybe they were great, wonderful, doing great work, and they got laid off, and it really was unfortunate, and they didn't deserve that. But we don't know. They might be some DEI slob activist that was horrible to their coworkers, ruining the games that they were involved with their ideas and their poor performance. And then they get laid off. And what? I'm supposed to defend that person?
Nope,
We're supposed to feel bad for that person because someone at IGN
Yeah,
said.
honestly, there need to be more firings in the gaming industry because there's still a lot of trash that needs to get taken out there.
That we should. Anyways, I've talked enough. I'm starting to feel lazy.
A lot of visual novels use AI. That wouldn't surprise me that they're fairly formulaic, or like that's not a slight, but yeah, they're just the presentation is something that would be easy to automate a lot of the background stuff. So yeah, I can see AI being very useful for creating visual novels.
Lazy. Maybe I need more coffee, but I'm just going to finish
Coffee.
the video. So this is to say, now we'll take a look at what some other people are saying so I can just read their takes.
Yeah.
Here's a really good response. Directly quotes Hassan, says, Hassan will look you dead in the eye and tell you this woke nonsense didn't destroy Dragon Age while electrocuting Kaya. Oh, God.
Generated art, handwritten writing. And I'd imagine also probably if you're already using AI, that you would use it for the actual game design too, because it would just speed up the whole process. Because again, the wrapper on a visual novel is fairly basic. So if you can automate that process, it's just going to speed up everything.
I already know this scene. It's the Barb scene, but we'll play it again. I haven't seen this in like a year or so, probably. I don't know, a year and a half, something like that. I don't know if I'm ready, but let's do it. Yeah, I haven't even started the video. I'm already disgusted just seeing Tosh right there. Like, just one of the worst character designs ever.
The whole thing is awful.
I don't know. I feel like I'm maybe slightly reaching. That's a pretty bold claim, but like it really might be. I mean, that's
Ren'Py is pretty easy to learn though. Yes, but you could also speed things up massively if you can automate much of that process.
It's disgusting.
Best part is, while Tosh is pounding that snake's nose, she's still holding the ruby in her other hand. Maker's panties. I was so proud.
Oh.
Good.
Ah, shit. They're still holding it. Sorry.
What are you doing?
No, can we please not? Can we do... Rev jokingly canceled Hero High because he got called out by people because he said that some of these firings were good and these people are useless. I am officially canceling Rev for making us watch this full scene. Like, this was unnecessary. This is cruel and unusual punishment. This is a war crime. Yeah, he's over. Hero High is done. It's never been more over.
Oh. Okay. A Barv?
Dude, I can't believe they actually put this in here.
Tradition in the Lords of Fortune from one of our old members, Barv.
Please stop!
His plans went sideways a lot.
Yeah, okay, we know. She does push-ups to apologize for misgendering Tosh, calling Tosh she instead of they. And then, like, dude, everything about this, like, the writing is horrible, the dialogue's horrible.
Uses a Gitmo, yeah.
I feel bad for people that liked Isabella in the prior Dragon Age games because look what they did to Isabella. This actually, I'm starting to get what's the word? I was supposed to be lazy and not comment that much, but this is reminding me of another video I wanted to make separately, like an actual just commentary video about.
I didn't even realize they reused characters. So that's Isabella. It's been a while since I played Dragon Age, but if that's who I think it is, that's totally, yeah, that's an abomination as well.
Slop activists are such bad writers. But yeah, like I said, I do want to make a separate video about that sometime. I've had this idea in mind for a while now.
What the heck?
Actually, like, make the video. So I'm not going to comment more about that here. I don't want to bury that concept, bury the lead at the end of this video, rather. Rock Solid also responded to Hassan saying, dang, who did all this then? Showing the MJ downgrades, another Tosh scene there where she's going off about being non-binary, body type 1 and 2, and this Yasuke thing, which to this day, I like, is this real? To this day, I still don't even know if it's real or not, and it's such a creepy look that I never even wanted to actually look into it more. But briefly mentioning in a video,
you're a conspiracy theorist on the power usage. You think it's for lasers? For what end? But yeah, no, government always lies, so they're probably up to something else. I don't know if it's lasers, but data center power consumption should fall soon and rapidly, probably.
Is good enough. Like if someone can
Well, maybe.
comment if this
Depends
is
on what they're
actually
doing.
real
Oh,
or not,
Golden
that would be
Dome.
great. It's way too creepy. I don't want to look at it anymore though. Like actually both characters creep me out. Literally both. Like Yasuke mainly, because I mean, what the frick is that? But even the way that character's looking at him, like everything about this is just, oh, I just need to move on. Let's get away from that. We got Christina Tasty responding to Hassan saying, who do you think is in charge of making the games they make bland beige nothings? The janitor? Whoa, and this account pointing out a recurring theme. What's this? Janitor? Whoa, and this account pointing out a recurring theme. What's this?
Woke or whatever, gaslight. I told you, the woke don't want to blame the woke, obviously. Most people don't really give AF if it's woke or whatever. Bad or woke or whatever. Call me woke or whatever. That last one doesn't really fit. In theme wise.
The quote woke or whatever on quote gaslight, once you see for it, you'll never fall for their tactics again. Showing multiple accounts here saying things like the Odyssey is going to do huge numbers. Most people don't really care if it's
a lot of stupid nuclear regulatory policy got fixed, so we should see more nuclear reactors pop up in the near future. Good. It's so stupid that we don't have more of that.
Woke or whatever. I know I don't. Another one saying, sounds like you just want to complain about woke or whatever. Another one, too woke or whatever. Call me woke or whatever. Call me.
If they did that to Dragon Age, what are they going to do to Mass Effect? It isn't anyone expecting the worst? You'd think so. You'd think so. But like someone was saying, oh, I think it was actually you, that a lot of people don't even don't look at what they do. So they'll look at what they're buying. So they'll see a new Dragon Age and be like, I like Dragon Age. We'll buy Dragon Age. So I don't expect it will. I shouldn't say that. It might still do very well, but I think a lot of people will tune out, but it will still sell. People will buy it.
Woke or
Leave
whatever.
Tally alone.
Dude, literal hive mind behavior. What is this? I'm not reading the full tweets. It's like the image is kind of small and I don't want to read all this nonsense anyways. I'm getting ready to wrap this video up. But this is weird as heck. Heard they were bad or woke or whatever. Call me too woke or whatever. Yeah, so there's something really ironic about these sort of people who make their entire online presence and probably real life presence as well, just like nonstop virtue signaling. But then when they say like quote unquote woke, they're acting like dismissive towards it as if it's not a big deal. And again, that's rich coming from people that literally encapsulate their whole life around that terminology and that lifestyle. Anyways, that was fun, but I'll leave it there. As always, thank you for tuning in. I hope you've been having a great weekend. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.
Alrighty, thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Peace. I think I'll probably call it there. I am getting quite tired. It was good to stream again in a while. I probably won't be streaming tomorrow. I've got some things to do, and it's going to be fairly hot as well. But then I should be streaming again most of the rest of the week, I think. So yeah, we won't do Wednesday. We'll do probably Thursday, Friday. And I don't know about the weekend, but yeah, we should be doing Thursday, Friday. And let me see. Hey Dan, how's it going? Yeah, I came just in time. Yep, sorry. And it looks like we just have Cinevere online. So yeah, we'll go ahead and host that. You can go say hi over there when I drop that. All right. Whoops. Okay, that should work. Glad. Yes, thank you for watching, everybody. Yeah, like I said, skip tomorrow, then be back the day after, I think. I hope Oh my god, yeah, I'm getting tired. Good time to stop. But yeah, hopefully everyone had a good time. And yeah, that new channel, the Basic Logic or whatever, that's gonna be fun. That was good stuff. All right, have a good one. Peace. And go say hi to Cindy if you want. All right, I'm dropping the raid over on Rumble and dropping the just link over on YouTube. Where are we? Whoops, where the heck? I have too many things open. There we go. Have a good one. Peace.
Okay, hold on.
Peace, peace, peace.
Heave away, me hearties, heave and never bend. For the right road's bloody narrow, and it never seems to end. Through storm and steel and centuries, he carried a righteous flame. Black-hearted Jack the Deathless, but the heart still feels the pain. He sailed when Rome still ruled the waves and Carthage burned to ash. Cut down tyrants by the score, left empires in the crash.